Hello, and welcome to another episode of Don't Trust the Dungeon Master. My name is Alex K, and I am that Dungeon Master. Tonight will be our 28th episode of Arkelya, our D&D campaign in the fictional world of Arkelya. Wow, should have thought this one through. I should start writing my introductions.
What a great
intro.
again.
Well,
They were better back in the day.
Cut this.
Yeah, I remember when you wrote out your
start
entire
over.
intro.
No, well, I used to
perfect.
write them. I don't do it anymore. I don't want to do that. All right, so we haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. Let's see.
Who are you
So that would be
guys?
2 weeks of potential things to talk about. Let's see. I'll start off with myself. Announcements. I went to the dentist the first time in like 13 years. Bad. My teeth are in better condition than what they could have been. So I'm on a scale of like 1 to 10. I'm like a 4, apparently. I have 8 cavities, but they're all early staged cavities. So nothing to panic over. And I've already had my first follow-up appointment where they filled 4 of them, as well as did a deep clean on the right side of my mouth, and that hurt like hell. Even though they used pain anesthetic. Either way, that's halfway done. I'll be doing that again. Is it like next week or the week after that? I'll be having my next appointment for my left side. The last 4 cavities and the last one. So as a lesson to all you kids out there, when you finally, graduate to become an adult and you're no longer your parents' health insurance, go to the dentist. I wish I did. So I encourage you to keep going. So that was my big thing. Oh yeah, and then yesterday I was on call from my job from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. I did not get a large amount of sleep. It took away my whole Saturday, which put me even further behind current progress of writing. So that's my excuse this time. Let's move on to ladder. Who wants to have an announcement next? Demi, DTW, Potato, Owl.
Well, let me follow up on that. So I've been to the dentist recently and had 2 teeth extracted and 2 other teeth filled. So go to the fucking dentist.
Yes. They said
Really
mine are savable because they're early on. I took good enough care. It's
Right.
my gums are my worst case scenario. And
Right.
I have a crown that I have that they can't quite see what's going on in my crown because it interferes with the X-ray. So they're kind of concerned about it. And then I'm like, well, why don't we just take it out then? And they're like, well, we'll resort to the option if necessary. I'm like, well, I'm saying you
Like
can do
go
it if you
underneath
want.
it to see.
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead and do it if you want. I mean, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't
Right.
expect good things to be happening down there, but they want to approach it. They want to approach it in a safer point. So.
Yeah.
Oh, but I remember when I was younger, and Diamond Ranch told me when after one of our visits home from the dentist, I was like, my teeth hurt, but yeah, we should start flossing. And then Diamond Ranch is like, yeah, you guys should start flossing. It's gonna help your breath, and it's gonna. Yeah, she really pushed it on me, and I just always remember that statement that she made on the way back home. It was one of the last dentist appointments we had, but here I never really flossed. So, but my teeth are still savable apparently.
Flossing's a pain though. Oh my god, such a pain.
Yeah, I've been super diligent ever since I went back though, and it doesn't
same
hurt
here.
really anymore.
Nope.
I can't get the
After the
blood.
first week, your gums just get used to it. I think it's just getting over that. It's like anything you do, any new change you make in your life, it takes like a week or 2, and then just whatever.
Well, anyways, everyone, here at Arkelya, we are Don't Trust the Dungeon Master. We are sponsored by the Dental Association of America. Go check your teeth.
Alrighty.
And Canadian ham products, if I
Alright.
remember correctly.
So go on.
Maple
So
syrup, come on.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Al.
there we
Continue
go.
with your announcements.
Sponsored by maple syrup.
Not as well as, I guess I don't know when we last played, but I did get the promotion at work.
I don't remember
Yeah, it's
You didn't. There was a
Nice.
potential
Yeah.
prospect, but then
it was a potential. Yeah, now it's like official.
that. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something. That's for sure. It's very interesting. Yeah. So it's been a long week. I did like 5 hours of overtime this week trying to get some stuff cut up before I officially transitioned over. But that was Friday. I made the cut over to just being a focal instead of doing the work as well. So we'll see what happens in the next coming weeks. And then what's really new this week is we decided to plan a trip back home to Minnesota and Wisconsin to see our families in December. So that'll be really exciting. We're gonna surprise my dad for his birthday and go see his my husband's grandparents or grandmas. We just found out that his other grandma has cancer as well, so we wanted to make sure we got home and see everybody and all that stuff. So it's been a long week, but it's been a good week, and going home to see family will be really fun, I think. So
That reminds me, that's one of the things actually, the reason why we didn't play 2 weeks ago was because my grandparents came and visited. I forgot to announce this 3 weeks ago, and then I went, oh,
Right.
butterscotch. But then, then I was like, no, they're going to be here. So, got to see my grandparents. That was nice.
the last big announcement is we're going to Emerald City Comic Con in March. Tickets go on sale this week. So,
How much are the tickets
if
again?
you're going to go, we're going to do the 4-day pass. Every day is a different price. So it's like Sunday and Thursday are like $30-some, Friday is $40, and then Saturday is $52. So, but we're just going to do a 4-day pass and see what happens. Because Critical Role is going to be there Saturday and Sunday, but then there's other guests that are going to be there like Friday, Saturday. So we're just doing a 4-day pass to see kind of what pans out, and then we're going to actually like stay downtown
That's
and
gonna be,
like.
that's
Yeah.
like $120?
Yeah, it's like $125. You save like 1 day's worth of tickets, basically. You save like $50 by doing it all as a 4-day pass.
What, so it's 30, 30, 40, 40?
Something like that. Maybe it's 30, 40, 45, 50. I don't know. I didn't look at it that long, but
But are they actually doing a live show?
that they have not announced it yet. So I'm thinking they're gonna do a Tox Machina, maybe is what it sounds like, because Brian W. Foster's there. But they're only slated to be there Saturday and Sunday at this point, so that may change. But we have no idea until like it's closer. Well, with Comic-Con, like everything's always changing basically right up until it starts. So, but I'm super excited.
Okay. Moving on down the line. Next person. Don't make me pick on you.
Okay, I'll go. Let's get this going. First of all, old character sheet, fellow people who watch us. My laptop fried itself, so I'm pretty screwed on that. I have to send it in, get it hopefully repaired. Maybe I'll get all my stuff back from it. Maybe I won't. We'll have to see. What was the second announcement? I might be going to Emerald City Comic Con.
Wait, really?
Ayo.
Oh, shit. Well then,
Ayo.
Owl, you gotta buy me tickets and I'll reimburse you.
Well, it's a limit of 4,
it's
so
a
we
maybe
can only
at
buy
this
enough
point.
for us, but
Still a maybe. so
Well,
I'm
you
not
can
gonna,
meet up with Owl and me.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Oh.
It would be cool if I could go, but it's still a maybe for me. I don't know how my life's gonna pan out.
Well, like I said, tickets go on sale Wednesday, so I don't like Saturday. Will sell out pretty much instantly, followed quickly by the 4-day pass. So
I'll probably just buy the pass if I do go.
then you better be ready to buy it on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Can you send me like a message on that day and be like, hey, you better get your tickets? And I'm like,
It's noon Pacific Standard Time is when it opens. You basically just like load onto their website, and then once you get into the queue, you basically enter a queue, and then it like will automatically refresh and then put you through the queue. But it's noon on the 17th on Wednesday.
Okay. I'll try and remember
And
that.
they're like, oh no, they didn't have space. Laris, you should definitely go to this time. Yeah.
I think Laris should come with us.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool to meet all you
If Demi's
guys.
gonna go, I'll
Some of
go.
us.
But if he's not gonna go, I'm not gonna go.
I see how it is. That's cool.
Well,
Wow.
he's coming from
You wanna
Canada,
go?
alright? This is in your home turf, Owl, okay? I can see you whenever I want, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're right.
She says that with such a lack of enthusiasm. Alright, anything else on the...
I haven't seen you in like what, 4 months? 5 months?
Okay, anything else,
Oh
Doma?
boy.
For Demi?
The only other real change that I have to announce is I moved rooms. I'm on a desktop. It's great.
Okay. Moving on
going
down, Roderick.
Good afternoon. Announcements. I mean, everything's kind of the same other than being out of town for this past few weeks. Like, pretty tired today because just went to family friend's 50th birthday party, and got back early in the morning last night. Otherwise, everything's the same.
Okay.
Nice little vacation, or
Hmm?
is it a nice vacation?
No. Well, it's nice to see
No.
them, but they live too far. Like they lived in the Charlotte area, but then they moved to the Raleigh-Durham area, so it's an extra like 2 hours,
It's a little bit
2.5 hours. Yeah. Not fun to make from South Carolina.
I got you.
Okay. And then anything from the DTW?
Well, everything's going pretty well. Raining pretty hard again from the hurricane down from Florida. But other than that, everything's been doing fine. Got a new mattress topper. Feels pretty good to lay in.
Nice.
Yeah, not really much going on. Just rolling through. Looking forward to playing.
Okay. And Phantom people, anything?
Nope.
Nope. All right, that's a nope. Moving on. All right, well, I was trying to get through it quick today, but we're our normal 30 minutes starting late thing. So let's go ahead and get to it. Right? Is everyone ready? Yay!
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
In our last episode of Don't Trust the Dungeon Master, you guys were inside Midan after going through the mines at High King Landra and High Sworn's request, fighting the horrors within, getting the other side, talking to the government on the other side, then coming back through the mines a second time. You found yourself back in Midan, where you then got requested to go speak to the king. You guys decided that you don't need that king anymore, and you killed him. And then you had this like ramification of trying to set up a mock government for the time being, which currently has been established or somewhat established. This government is working in lieu with the Karat government. Seems like they're going to form a council where all of them are going to be kind of united together. At least that's the plans. And I know you guys just want to get the heck out of Dodge. You don't want to be here for any of this. So as you guys kind of during this course, this week of exchange of dialogue between negotiating about what's the future for Midan inside the mountain and these other inhabitants, you guys eventually found yourselves taking a respite for an evening, of which then you were rudely awoken with daggers being stabbed into your abdomens and such. Let's see, Evelyn was almost dispatched immediately. Doma managed to catch the guy that was going to kill him before it happened. Haname did not make it. Let's see. And everything else seemed to kind of fall into pieces. After a scuffle with these individuals, 2 assassins lay dead, 2 of them got away, and there could be more. And so you guys are kind of bunkered down. Several of you are really close to death's door at the moment, namely Evelyn and Doma. Both were knocked unconscious and brought back through healing items. What I recall is over here on the left-hand side, we have a Doma, Evelyn, and Roderick are currently within the garage of Gale and Lorcan. Lorcan's still half-dressed and on combat arms, and Gale running around with like a rolling pin and at the same time also having a bunch of like bandages as she's trying to like help tend to your wounds. And then we head over here at the Temple of Thorns, well specifically I guess down here in the Temple of Thorns, where a call stopped a plotted assassination attempt on him from someone trying to do a what the heck is that agent from those assassin games? Agent 47, is it? Or whatever it is,
Yes.
the bullheaded guy. Yeah, so he came like right up next to you and tried to shoot you a crossbolt at short range, but you managed to catch it, and that turned very sour for that guy pretty quick. You could have ended him even faster after you got that stunning strike, but you provided him lenience, and he still ran for it, and then you took him out. As you were then tried to retreat to the cubby works of where Aniel, Lena, Miles, or Haname were, You had a sniper shooting you the entire time, and you couldn't quite see where they were. Managed to stop many of the attacks. You regrouped these individuals, and you guys kind of piled into Captain Miles' room, or really Lena's room, where Captain Miles was there. And you strategized for a bit, of which Captain Miles gave you a name, a call, of which go see Dawnbreaker. He should be able to. He's her contingency plan, effectively. So she says she gives you the name. Go back to Hammerhold with everyone else. Find a Dawnbreaker. Me and Genevieve and Reese will stay here and protect Lena. And then we're going to see if we can get her to safety. And you went, all right, sounds like a plan. And you basically grab Aniel by her hand and you just run out the door, hoping you're not going to get pigged by a sniper shot. And that's where we last left off, is that literally a call, you at this exact moment are peeking your head out of the door that's been open. And Aniel's right behind you as you're walking out into the green efflorescent streets of Midan. It's very quiet. And you kind of crouch down low as you bolt out, expecting something to be fired at you, but nothing gets shot at you. And you take several steps in a quick running fashion, not taking any chances, running through the streets and darting as fast as you can. And you quickly find that Aniel's not able to keep up at your pace. So you kind of pull it back a little bit so that she can run with you. After a course of about a good 20 plus seconds, no shot gets fired. And you can feel the adrenaline in your body. You can feel sweat and a higher blood pressure. And there's this like anxiety that at any moment a shot could be shot at you from any of these rooftops, and you're scanning the environment looking for any possible cues of where this person is or where they were. Can you make a perception check for me, Nicole?
Sure. Uh, 12.
12. Okay. So as you scan around the rooftops, you know the person was previously shooting from a height advantage towards you, based on the trajectory of the crossbows. None of them seem to stand out. There doesn't seem to be anything that's moved out of the norm. And so you can't quite figure out where the person was or where they are currently. But you don't waste too much time. In about a minute course area, you have left the courtyard in front of the Temple of Thorns, and you've already made your way down towards the little causeway streets that make their way down to the main fair, which then you have the option of going through Brandle's Seat or continuing through alleyways, going south, and then going to the Fairdway to then eventually make your way to wherever you want to go. And so at this point, Nicole, where did you want to try to get to, and how are you trying to get there?
Well, I would be trying to head to the McRise, since I believe it was Krista that told us that's where everybody's at, and they got attacked as well.
Right.
And I would definitely be taking the alleyways, since they would offer more protection from the sight lines of the roofs, right?
Okay. Can you please make a... What do I want to do here? Do I want to do investigation or survival? Let's do investigation. Can you do an investigation roll for me, Nicole? As you try to navigate through a method of travel, area streets you're not familiar with.
Yeah, it almost was a natural one. Almost.
Oh.
All right, so investigation. That is a 13.
13. Okay. So as you are darting around in between these streets and trying to avoid any catastrophe, you do find yourself at one point running into a dead end, and slight panic kicks into you, but then you kind of jump back and go right back the way you came, and luckily nothing seems to attack you at this point. The route you're taking seems to be providing you cover, so no one's assailing you at this exact moment. You do eventually find yourself onto the main strip, which then you can continue through the Fairdway, which is what you elected. So you continue southward through more streets, and you do eventually find yourself in front of McRise. It just takes you about 5 minutes longer than you were hoping. So eventually you will approach McRise with you, Evelyn. I'm sorry, not you and Evelyn. You and Aniel and Krista.
Right. Does the front of the shop look okay? Like, do I see? I remember. I think one of them was burning out front, but I'm assuming they dragged him in or something.
They dragged the body back in.
Right.
Yes. So at this moment, the door has closed. With your passive perception, you do see some blood splattered up on the ground and where the bottom of the door frame as you make your way up to the front of it. You're maybe not as breathing as hard as Aniel. Aniel is definitely panting heavily here. She's not used to running like, half a mile, basically sprint. So she's winded. Krista seems to be unfazed. You're not even sure where Krista is. She's gone invisible. She could be riding you or she could be flying. You're not sure. So you make your way up to the door. And how would you like to gain entry? Do you just want to open it?
I'm going to knock 3 times and say, "Is anybody inside?"
I think a call's here.
Sounds like it. Knock at the door.
Well, I just,
And
you cover that side. Once after, I'll stay here. And he kind of Lorcan ducks behind one of the tables, and he lifts his axe up like he's gonna melee someone. But he's a good 40 feet away from the door. So.
All right, let's open the door.
Alright, so Roderick, you make your way forward, and you then creak the door. As you open it up, you see a cat man standing in front of you, and then behind him, your angelic companion, who's super sweat adorned and glistening and just heavily breathing. Looks like she's super tired.
Come in, hurry up.
Right. And we get inside.
All right, so you guys
Close the
plunk
door
in,
immediately.
dook, as your footsteps come through. As you look inside, you immediately see, first of all, your noses are met with the delicious smell of burnt flesh. A call with your high passive perception. You do see some ash up in front of the doorway as you make your way in. You see a little bit of some burnt marks upon the door frame and along the wood floor. You see several blood splatters against the ground and on the stairwell. Looks like when the tables was kind of moved a little ajar. Your companions look heavily injured. You quickly piece it together that they were probably attacked, much like you were. And they probably didn't fare as well as you did, even though they had more.
Well,
It looks like you guys were rudely awakened as well.
Are you all right? I'm
Don't mind.
1 second here. I'll try to heal you all.
No, don't.
don't force
Sorry
yourself.
about it, Daniel.
Yeah, Doma and Evelyn need a little bit more time. I wasn't hurt that bad, but what happened over there was the exact same.
Yes, right as I was trying to go to sleep, an individual tried to kill me, and well, he's no longer with us, but we were attacked as well. Yes.
I'm just holding my side.
You look a lot better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess yours went a little more smoothly.
Well,
So,
regardless.
What's the plan?
Well, I just want to inform you that Genevieve Reese, Lena, yes,
Mhm.
and Captain Miles are all fine. However,
Good.
I'm afraid to say that Haname did not make it.
Seriously?
Son of a.
What about Darvis? Where's Darvis?
Right, where's my boy?
I don't know. I did not see him.
Oh man, not good for nothing.
Wow.
But
All right.
what Captain Miles told me is that the best thing to do would probably be to leave the city and head towards Hammerhold and look for someone named Dawnbreaker who will help us open the gate.
And what will they do?
Well,
Let us out, I guess.
I'm talking about. I mean, Captain Miles.
What about Lena and Captain Miles?
Yes.
Yeah.
well, as it stands, I don't think the corrupt government would allow someone who is now an official to be assassinated. So,
Well, who tried to kill us? That's the
Hmm.
better question. Was it that general, you think? And who are these assassins?
I don't understand what you're talking about. What the hell is going on? Who's
Have you
trying to
ever-
kill you?
Lurk,
we
it's
That's
don't
what
know.
we're trying to figure out.
Oh,
Do you know
Yeah.
any assassin guilds in Midan?
he gives you a very
Heard
like
of it?
puzzled look. Like one eyebrow
Oh,
goes
okay.
really
Oh.
high in the air. The other one gets really furrowed. Almost as like he had a stroke at the remark you made. And he looks over to his wife, and she's like looking at it like complete. like no idea where this is coming from. No, I don't know.
how about this?
Assassins?
Have you ever seen some of the tattoo of a bat being eaten by a snake or like biting into it?
Have I ever?
That was.
No,
The body's
have
still
not.
there, right?
Yeah, is that what the tattoo is? I don't remember a
Yeah,
bat.
the
No,
the
it's a
tattoo is of
snake
a
biting
bat
a bat.
that's currently constricted heavily by a snake.
Yeah.
And the snake is basically like diving its fangs into the main torso of the bat.
It's
Sucks to be that bad.
Okay, it sure does. This fictitious bat being eaten alive. Sucks to
Oh,
be that
man.
one.
Well, as it stands, we at least know that it is an organized group that is trying to get at us. And it's not just a hubbub of, random individuals.
well, let's rest up for a little bit, and then we can
I don't know if it's
head out.
safe
Yes.
to stay here.
I think that
No,
we should
not
follow
really.
the captain's advice and head out immediately as soon as we can.
What about the McRaes? Are they safe? Darvis? I mean, we don't know where he is.
They weren't
even.
targeted. I don't believe they were targeted.
Yes, as I stated, it was just at the temple at least. Myself, Haname, and Lena
Lena.
that was targeted.
Make a intelligence check, Roger.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm telling you to do it. Jeez.
Oh.
Don't have to ask for what I'm
5.
telling you to.
I mean 6.
Ouch.
God damn
Wait,
it.
what do you mean?
I mean, I
six?
guess
No,
I
you
could
only
give
had
you
one.
advantage because you're working it through with everyone else. But I could
Okay,
also
nice
I'm cool with
guy.
that. All right, advantage.
Trying to give it to him.
I'm trying to, yeah. If he rolls bad again.
Oh.
It's a nat 1, isn't it?
He just saw Evelyn nearly die. I mean, what
Yeah,
can you
he's
say?
too panic stricken. all the people he made the close remark. All right.
That was hilarious.
Okay, so yeah, Roger,
Alright.
you're just thinking, yeah, we could get the fuck out of here. It's pretty much your train of
Oh,
thought.
darn.
I mean, or do you think they'll come back here?
We've killed a bunch of them, so I'm sure they won't come back immediately. But again, we should rest up in case they do.
One was
Get a little
trying
better
to
and then
shoot
get away.
a call, but he was well. So there's at least one from our group that made it out.
One from ours did as well.
Yes.
That makes two.
It wasn't worth him entering combat in the street to chase him. So
Yeah.
No, that was my thinking. But
Make more
Well,
of this.
Midan is a pretty big place too, and there's a lot of possible areas they could attack you too. I don't know how powerful you all think you are, but that sounds like a very disadvantaged position.
trust me, I don't feel powerful at all right now.
Maybe you all should maybe you can just lay low for a day or two, and this will all just blow over, right?
in my opinion, it may be an idea for us to leave, like Captain Maya said. And if you, it could be that they're targeting you as well, the McRaes. I don't know.
Well, they didn't go into their room, so
That is
As you think that through, Evelyn, you recognize that the McRae room is easier access than your room is. It's
That's what I
actually along
figured.
the way to your guys' room.
right. And they
And-
skipped it.
Totally skipped it.
I mean, I call that they literally walked past the McRaes to get to us. So I'm pretty sure they're safe. Pretty
Right.
sure.
then. I think
But I
Captain
don't
Miles is
want
the
to
best plan.
burden them with hiding us here for a day or two. I mean, I don't think they would come back. I don't think they would be that bold, but do we want to count on that?
We don't need to stay that long, just enough to patch yourselves up, and then we head out after
Yeah,
that.
we should probably head out pretty quick. Yeah.
I can try to heal this.
no.
All
That's okay.
right.
Well, it's up to you guys. I personally think that we should try resting up in the mines. That's just me, though.
Anthony, Colin, Evelyn are really, really, really
Not a call.
beat up.
I think I'm just literally slumped on the
sorry, Doma.
stairs. Am I not? Like I didn't.
Oh,
I haven't
might as
moved
well
from the
be.
stairs.
Oh man, a call's so beat up right now. I mean, look at the guy. Is this better, by the way, DTW?
Yeah, this is better. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, Amanda, Doma, and Evelyn are beat up.
Alright, so what do you guys
Right.
plan on doing here?
Short rest.
Short rest? Okay.
Short rest.
Sure. All right, and so you guys, while you're talking here, and your group, effectively, Evelyn, Roderick, and Doma, you guys were already starting to do a short rest as it is. So the requirement for an hour of you guys just sitting here, kind of continuing any kind of conversation you have on trying to figure out any other potential opportunities. Your short rest is fulfilled, and you may roll hit dice to heal yourself if you'd like, as well as our spell
Yes,
slots
please.
restored
Go.
if you use them if you're a warlock.
Ooh, 8 on the first one. Yeah.
Roderick, you get your
How many
spells
do you
back,
want?
my guy.
Yeah, but he didn't use any.
And you didn't.
I don't remember him using any. No, wait, you used Charm Person. You're right. Or Hold Person. Or Banishment. That's what you tried to use.
Banishment,
You tried to
yeah,
banish. So you
banishment.
did. That does come back to you. There we go. A 2-week break. So you have everything. Roger pretty much has everything.
The call was only 3 hit points off max. Feels good.
So during this hour, Gail just kind of slowly edges herself back in the kitchen because that's where she belongs. She feels like she needs to do something.
Oh,
So
wow.
you hear pots moving and food, and you smell food being cooked. She's just too restless to not do it. Lork, on the other hand, he rushes back to his room and then eventually comes back out 5 minutes later, fully equipped with all his armaments at this point. He's got way more weapons than he should have on his person. It's actually slowing him down. So he's kind of like hobbling through his house, peeking out random windows. There's like a large crossbow on his back. He's got a huge axe in one hand that's supposed to be a 2-handed weapon. In his other hand, he's got like a short sword. He's just totally, you can tell clear as day, he's not trained to fight. He just has a bunch of random weapons that he's bought and that he has in his disposal.
It's like a gun collector, but in the evil ages.
Yeah,
Medieval.
and probably not very well versed with any of the items he's using. But he's trying, it's a good dwarven effort. Over the course of that course, an hour has transpired. If there's any dialogue you'd like to have with each other or NPCs, you're free to divulge, or you're allowed to go ahead and move on to your next ambitions.
Shall we get going?
Yeah.
Is it worth trying to find out who did this?
How long would it take, and would anybody even know?
I have no idea.
I do have this healing potion. Does anyone need this? Anyone?
No.
No, we're good for now, Anio.
We need to keep it in case of emergency. So, do we know where Darvis went last?
That boy is an enigma. He's like every night he's like never home here, ever. So I would assume he's at the Temple of Thorns, but
We'd have to go check with Lena, wouldn't we?
We would.
Hmm.
Was the route safe that you took to get here, a call?
If it was safe, doesn't mean it's still going to be, though.
we weren't
Right.
attacked.
I think
I-
we should just go and just be alert and ready for everything.
I mean, are we gonna do what Captain Miles said and go to the Dawnbreaker?
That's what makes sense to me. As it stands,
Well, isn't the back door at the Temple of Thorns still open? Couldn't we get out that way?
Yes, but the intent is to still open the gates for the people of Karat.
Yeah, I have it right.
We
The
can
key right
still
here.
open
Yeah, Roderick, you pull out the key. It's the chain, not broken. You have it kind of wrapped around your neck underneath your other pendant, your casting pendant, your focus.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, the pendant in hand there. Hey, so you see that you do have the Chadoris on you. Don't let that impact your decision. He can wait. You know, he'll just wait half the campaign.
Just skip him.
Go
Yeah,
around.
let's just go out the back door instead.
We'll just make a new character for him. Is what we'll do. I'll
For fuck's
adopt it,
sake.
grandfather into an NPC, and he can have a new character out somewhere else.
Oh,
Whatever.
Jesus.
Don't let that impact your decision. Make what you want. Do what you want.
It's good.
I mean,
Are we gonna
I
open
had
the gate?
hoped
You
that
kind of promised them.
we would have been able to come back here at some point, but I don't know if
Oh,
that's...
we're definitely coming back. It's just, it'll be a little more complicated.
Evelyn just kind of looks at you like, seriously? Complicated is...
But I mean, I think if we
Yeah,
leave
man.
like this, without kind of giving the, I guess I'd have to give the key to
Well,
someone.
then let's go see Lena before we go.
We
Yes.
didn't need to. You got to think, the dwarves, they will be able to take care of it. It's not going to be pushed under the rug. I mean, one of the political figures now is trying to be assassinated. That's not going to get
Exactly.
swept under.
That's true. She is a council member, so yeah.
It's going to be an issue that they're going to think about, and now, you know, if we just go out through the back door, that'll be another issue of, one, the Chadoris not being on here, but two,
Just
the
take
gate not
the
being
key
open.
and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's just go open the great gates.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see those things open anyway.
and we know that the Dawnbreaker individual will help us do that once we get to Emerald.
Well, I had
So-
hoped to at least put Dura to rest before we left, but we're not going to have time for that now. So maybe...
Oh, we'll come back. We have
Later.
other reasons to come back too.
Right.
Prepare yourselves.
Wait, before you go, here, have a quick lunch, breakfast thing.
Of course, Kip.
Yeah.
Of course.
So a bunch of plates are thrown out onto the table of effectively very hurried omelets. That's what is in front of all of you.
Looks
Some
delicious.
of them are a little overcooked in the bottom, but overall it's pretty good. Not as great as what Gail normally can do, but yeah, she's definitely under some duress. Understandable duress. But a breakfast is presented to all of you, so no need for a ration yet. So
Nice.
Darn.
All right.
I don't know how many of those I have.
yeah. Okay. So you guys have a quick bite to eat because apparently no one said no. So you ate your food,
Yeah.
nom 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 nom, and you're now free to leave.
I was poisoned, kills an assassin.
Oh, fuck.
Plot twist.
What a plot twist that would
Plot
be.
twist.
Do it.
Woo!
Oh.
All right. So.
She's hiding her scar on her arm, or something.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Alright, so, let's see. Okay, so we're heading out. Project wants to give Gail a big hug and a kiss on the cheek, and they do the same thing for Lorca as well. So we're headed out.
So wait, sometimes you kind of just your volume drops for me there. So I know that you gave Evelyn a hug and a kiss, but you said to someone
Gail.
else.
Gail.
Gail. A hug and a kiss.
Gail. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Okay.
Gail and Lorcan.
Got it. All right. So yeah.
Both of them.
Exchange farewells. There's definitely pained expressions on Gale's face. Lorcan's gives a very firm handshake. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You've been through worse things, right? Assassins, nothing compared to whatever the Vol scraps you fought in the mine, right?
Fucking full scraps.
I mean, I didn't
Okay,
believe that they actually were
I-
there, but per your tales, apparently I fought them. So
I'll
I
give
told
them
you
both
they
hugs.
exist. She slaps him in the shoulder.
I give him both hugs and kisses as well. I hold Gail extra long.
And she's short, right? Like she only comes up to your midsection basically. So you're kind of like just hug her, and she like pushes her head really tight into your stomach, giving you a big squeeze back.
Akal would say, "Thank you for the hospitality. It was a pleasure meeting the both of you."
Oh, be safe, right? May the Thorn Weaver protect you.
And you as well.
Thanks for always
Alright.
having a place for us here.
It's always here for you whenever you come back, and hopefully.
And
it'll be-
remember, your family's on the other side, and they'd love you guys to visit. So
Oh yeah.
get away.
We will when we can, once we find the boys and. Right. And if we're not home, check under the rug for the key, and then that'll let you in here. Hospitality notice, all right. That's our family. So that's how you could get back and just don't tell the
Okay.
neighbors, because we don't want them rummaging into our
Yes.
stuff.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay. So then you guys depart. You open the door, stare outside.
And we get shot.
I'll take the first step.
Yeah.
Instant
Make a
death.
perception roll there. No, you as you peek outside, nothing comes out to you. Nothing seems to stand out for you at all. Everything seems to be kind of still in the same place. You slowly take a couple steps outside. No one shoots at you. No arrows or crossbolts. You guys then slowly make your way outside into the street, and then you close the door behind you. As when you enter, yeah, I chose this music for a purpose. To be
Amazing.
Slightly dramatic and slightly sorrowful.
Love it.
And so as you guys make your way out into the street now you're in front of McRise, which is in the south, more in the southeast section of town. So it's in the Fairway. You're not too far away from the south gate, which is the gate into that's kind of almost right in front of the mines. You could head to the northeast back to Temple of Thorns if you'd like. You could head northwest to go towards the Brandel seat. I mean, you can go anywhere you want, or try to go anywhere you want inside Midan. How would you like to proceed?
I just realized the mines are like full of military right now, right?
The mines are.
Are we just gonna try and walk through that, or
And
are
we have
gonna
no
get some
idea
ration?
whose side they're on at this point, so we got no clue what we're walking into going that way.
I mean,
We need to go that way, but we have no clue.
They-
I think it's worth a shot just going for it.
yeah,
So,
this OOC out of character.
No, you guys. I mean, if you want, you could have that in character. That's completely legitimate claims your characters could make.
This is true.
Wait, what?
Out of character, this shouldn't be an issue with the military. But if they're sending assassins,
Sure enough.
if it was a
I was
military,
just making a
if it was an
suggestion,
issue with the military, we'd be in handcuffs or dead already. Because it's side of the door.
Very true.
Oh,
Well, let's get going then.
I think we're heading to the mines.
Okay, so you head quickest route then, as well. I'll take it. So you head south.
Mm-hmm.
Following down the strip, you get to the Fairway and the giant gate up in front of it. As you are making your way out of the town, you give one more look back towards Midan, as you don't know the next time you'll be here. As you're potentially actually leaving the mountain and might never come back.
we
What?
I have
Wanna
a
go
place I need to stop.
I was gonna say I think we have one place we need to stop. I was thinking the same exact thing Dome was thinking, so I would just start going that way.
Oh,
All
I think I
right.
know where to, but I won't say it
Yeah.
for you. All right, so you make your way
Mhm.
out of the gate. Is that right? And then you head
Yes.
to a little
Mhm.
pocket to the southeast
Yes.
of it. Is that right?
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. And it doesn't take you very long. You do find the grave of your brother there, Lance. Brother Lance, not brother there, Lance. Brother Lance.
Oh man, my name's Lance
Your
now.
name is
Damn
Lance.
it! Dome has been lying to us this whole
So
time.
Plot twist.
we find
Plot
the
twist
grave
right
of
there.
your brother, Lance Doma.
I just step back and give him some time.
How was the grave arranged again? It was just like buried a small mound and then like a little thing
There's
over
not like
top
just
of it,
other
right?
graves or anything in there. It was basically a rock surface, kind of smooth and kind of in the corner, because a lot of this area over here has been claimed for agriculture, right? They've made these little makeshift farms of a lot of fungus production. You found one little area that doesn't seem to have a large, no one claimed it. It's kind of off on its own. Probably the closest building, closest building is probably a good 200, 300 feet away, which is like a football field away. So there's this little small spot. It's near the corner itself, and that's probably why no one's taking it, because there's not a lot. It's not good real estate. And you guys dug a hole in the ground and put his body in it, if I recall correctly. You kept him intact. You didn't actually cremate him, if I recall. So
yeah, that's correct.
yeah. So it's just there is disturbed dirt. There is a little mound that kind of comes up above it. I forget if you guys did a mark.
We did a thing because I know I know Evelyn did a little trick with her headband with it. I can't remember what it's called.
Druid crafted something.
Yeah.
For...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but Druid
I don't
Crafting won't
remember
make
what
like
it
a
was.
giant stake or anything like that. It's kind of like only people that would really be really good eyesight would see the disturbed earth, or people that know about it in the first place. So it's kind of more of like a hidden.
Should be like a tiny plant growing here or something.
Yeah, effectively, right.
Basically.
That's struggling because there's not a large abundance of light, but it's there.
I'll be back someday, brother. Find our sister. Rest easy. I know this isn't the ideal location for a last resting spot, so one day, maybe we'll have you moved somewhere better. We'll have to see how things go. I'll miss you always. And just kind of pats the surface where it is and stands back up.
Okay.
Sorry about the detour, guys.
So with that, you guys then regroup and you start making your way towards the mine. As you pass your way through, you do take one more look down towards the giant throne of the world, as it's called, which now is an opportunity to really describe it for a call, because he hasn't actually seen it in character perspective. So
I just skipped it.
yeah, I kind of did. I forgot, right? I just thought everyone remembered it. Recall what Midan looks like is it's a very giant rectangular city. And there are, from your perspective, you're right next to this gate, this portcullis that comes down. The portcullis is made of a bronze. You've seen a large amount of bronze accents and structures kind of placed within the city. It's not like it's comprised completely out of it, but there's embellishment of it all over the place. And any kind of metalworking seems to be heavily prioritized in this bronze. But it doesn't look like, it looks similar to bronze, but it's different. And you can tell that there's something a little like augmented about it. From your perspective, you just see this giant strip where there's these houses on the left and houses on the right, and there's just one giant road that goes straight down the middle, and now eventually we'll get to this more or less the center of town, which is where the Fairdway. I'm sorry, not the Fair. That's where the Brandel seat is, and it continues past Brandel seat, which is this like little kind of octagon of sorts in the middle of town. It goes past that, you'll eventually then see the palace itself, which is called the Cresting, which is where the Keen is. And you can clearly see the entire palace from like your current perspective. There's not too many buildings that are tall enough to really hinder its view. The very top of the Cresting, it kind of forms into that of a silhouette of a humanoid entity. You see a pair of arms, one on the left and one on the right, that slowly steep over and just rest on top of the walls that surround the city. In the very middle, though, the arms, the torso where the body would be, is instead this giant building. There is no head on top of the Cresting. So in short, you just see what appears to be a giant building, a palace, that has two giant arms coming out of it, as if the arms are connected to the palace, and they're resting into what appears to be almost like a giant throne. It looks like the entire city is designed to look like a throne from the perspective you are standing at right now. Most of the buildings are smaller in height where you are now, and they kind of get a little bit bigger and bigger as they get closer and closer towards the Cresting. And then there's just throughout the entirety of the city, there's this green efflorescence glow of Agnir gems that are placed throughout it at certain points that provide this kind of green hue wash over everything. So just kind of imagine some kind of tealish color almost kind of permeating around instead of your natural light. So kind of distraughting, honestly. And so that would be a quick summary of Midan's visual cue there for you from your current perspective. You guys then turn, walk down into the mine, and picking your pace up because you don't know if they're going to come after you or if they're ahead of you working against you. You are currently in a bad situation. And so with
What did we do with our goats?
What was that, Velma?
What did we do with our goats?
Your goat. They were taken
Mine
from.
shaft.
You've been here for a week. They've had to been in a stable being fed. Otherwise, they would have died. Right?
Mine shaft.
Or
The shaft.
yeah. So
Remember, we had the elevator
Oh.
shaft.
So
Oh yeah, we get to climb the
They couldn't
elevator
go up
shaft.
there.
They're down in the mine still.
So
Yeah.
with that, you guys do not have them, and you did not get new ones. You didn't elect to get new ones. So you are on foot right now, heading through the top portion of the Midan mines.
This will be fun.
And we're navigating with expertise, aren't we? This kid.
What?
And I said we're navigating this with expertise.
I mean, you have gone through it.
I-
Multiple
That's a
times
couple
now.
times, yeah.
We definitely
Been
know
through it
Midan mines.
You know it well enough. I see you trying to sway my psychology there, Roderick. So as you guys turn out of Midan, you see this stretch before you. It's very familiar for some of you. Call not as much because you kind of went through it real quickly, but what you guys see in front of it is that there's a small little descent. There's like a ramp that goes out probably like 80 feet to 100 feet before then it suddenly becomes a spiral staircase. It kind of just goes downward, and these stairs are steep. We're talking like 2 feet differential between it. You don't know how any dwarf would manage to go through this, but you taller folk aren't struggling so much. But if you get any short people, they would be in the world of hurt right now. And so you start taking your each down one of these steps, and you guys know this is going to go down for like the next, it's 5 to 10 minutes. Is going to be walking on these stairs basically. It's not a tight spiral staircase. It's kind of slowly arcing out. So don't imagine it like you would be able to that you're doing around the full circumference really quickly. Probably takes you a good minute to go around the full circumference of the circle. And as you're kind of arcing around, you see off to the right, there's just a steep drop, effectively. And that steep drop, there is this giant ravine down below you that is just darkness down there. You do see some moss plastered against the far right wall that you can only see because there's this kind of efflorescent moss, pink and green in nature. It's not providing enough light to actually illuminate the whole area. It just provides enough light, but you can see that there's a boundary there, and it's kind of washed over the entire wall, more or less kind of giving you an indication of how far away. And it looks like it's probably in the ballpark of maybe 600 or so feet out. So there's just this giant hole out there that if you fell, you're going to stumble and fall down a very steep incline and potentially die. You guys hug into the stairwell, make your way down quickly. Of which then you eventually hit this ramp, and this ramp goes down probably a smooth out ramp that goes, if you guys recall, about a mile or so of straight walking on this more or less lower grade ramp downward. Of which, as you're starting to make your way down here, you're starting to run into people. Every now and then, a pair of soldiers just kind of making their way through. They stare at your group with nervous expressions. Can I have one of you please make a charisma check for me with advantage, since the group would be trying to assist you on this? Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
Me?
Yes.
So,
All right.
Evelyn's doing it then?
Oh.
Not good.
With advantage, you did bad.
Yep.
You're a charisma character! What'd you get?
Yeah, it's literally
The
11.
roll didn't help.
11. Dang, so that means you got like a
6
6.
plus 5. I
Yeah.
mean.
Okay. So as you're kind of making your way through, your group overall definitely has a nervousness kind of tensioned onto you right now. And so these people, while it's a tighter confined space, they're definitely giving you a wide berth away from you. You get this air that there's these groups that you're passing by of soldiers or the like. They don't really want anything to do with you at the moment, which might be in your favor, might not be. But they're definitely trying to push themselves against the wall and give you as much space as possible for you guys to kind of hog the road, as it were. As you get deeper and deeper down, you start seeing more and more people, more and more soldiers. Some are just resting, as if it looks like they're posted there for the time being. But you do see an increase in traffic. It seems like there's a large amount of people that are headed back to Midan, and they're making their way towards your current direction. Eventually, you will, after several hours of walking, you guys do eventually get to the large encampment, the main encampment of where all the leadership of the military would be for the advancement into the Midan and reclaiming of the mines, effectively. And as you get into that, you see that the camp has been all broken down. There's not the huge surplus of shantytown of tents. It's all gone. There's a lot of people still like hanging around, but there's nowhere near the same abundance of individuals that you guys saw originally. You just continue moving forward because no one elected to do anything, and pass by several other individuals along the way, where you eventually now, this is pretty much where you guys are now entering to the point where you are in the mines itself, where effectively you reach the basin, and I would argue that this would be very similar to that area where you fought, near where you fought Barbarossa, or near where you fought the Volscrap. So the lake wouldn't be terribly far away as well from your current position. And then you kind of find yourself hitting a left-hand turn, of which you recognize that if you go straight, that's where you would find find a small little tunnelway where you could crouch down and make your way over towards the lake. If you went to more straight, you would have the opportunity to go to where you found Duro and Thorak and Belbrita, I think was her name.
Yeah.
That's also the last place that you guys knew of Oric's existence, was over in that direction. So you have the opportunity to go straight if you like, or you can make a right to go down to this giant left-hand turn that you guys remember is the perpetual left turn that eventually you overcome at some
Just
point.
gotta keep going forward.
So you're kind of at a fork in the road right now. You've passed several individuals. No one seems to really be talking with you. There are definitely people, their eyes are lingering on you longer than you would like, though, which gives you some uneasiness, tension. But overall, they're avoiding you, it seems, at this moment.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna keep heading to Hammerhold.
Yes, indeedy.
Okay. So you guys make a right to go to the perpetual left-hand turn. As you start the embarkment on it, just out of repetitive good motion, one of you decides to mark the wall. Let's say it's Evelyn with a prestidigitation. She puts a rune on the wall.
Paranoia.
Just because you've gone through it enough
Right.
times. You walk a good 5 minutes without seeing anyone before you run into another patrol of individuals. They're currently conspiring with each other. It seems they're not even aware that you're coming, and their conversation seems to be that one of lightheartedness. And they're kind of like laughing. As soon as they suddenly you get within about 60 feet of them, your footsteps become too loud, and they suddenly turn to you, and they suddenly stop, and they stiffen themselves up and kind of pull themselves against the wall. Sorry about that. Feel free to continue. And there's a little jitterousness to them as you guys pass by. You eventually find yourself now entering into the area where there's a very effectively a long straight line that steeply grades downward, and as it grades downward, you know that you'll still have the option of the left fork, the straight, and the right. The right going to the waterfall and that shack contraption where you ran into Kawak. If you go straight, you would be able to go to the elevator shaft, and if you make a left, you would be able to go to the collapsed, well, not collapsed, but drowned hallway, I should say.
Sunk
Elevator
area.
shaft. For
Elevator.
10.
So you as quickly get to that point where you're going to go down the elevator shaft. At this point, though, you have been traveling for effectively a day, and so now would be the point where you're going, maybe we should break camp. And so you know that there was, last time you were here, there was a small little miniature tent colony of sorts that was kind of compounded heavily in that hallway. This is where I think you met Captain Whitebeard, as well as where you had Ezekias and check your items.
Are
for you.
they still around? Like, is that area, are they still here?
So as you come around as you enter into this area, you see that this area has also had its tent community just broken down. They're no longer present here. There is a lingering presence of more personnel here, but it's more congested here than it was elsewhere in the mines. But it's pretty sparse in compared to what it was before. We're talking maybe 15.
Well, it's
15%.
been a week, right?
Yeah, it's been over a week since you last came through here. So
It probably moved either forward in the mines or headed back to Midan, I guess.
Yeah, they must have done something.
I mean, we don't know what our talks with the council meant for the people down here, I guess. Like, they never said anything, so.
you never ran you don't along the entire passageway here, you've never run into anyone that seems to be an officer person. No one's questioned your authority or anything that you're doing about moving in and out of here. And there doesn't seem to be any leadership you run into thus far. All you run into is a lot of normal soldiers. But at this point, you guys have the opportunity to break camp or persevere if you'd like.
I need a rest.
I need the rest.
Sure.
All right, so we're going to have you right at the fork in the road. And so where would you like to break camp? Would you like to break camp right in the hallway where the tents used to be? Would you like to make a right to go to the waterfall? Would you like to go from the elevator
man, I
shaft?
forgot
Or
about
would
the
you like to make a
waterfall.
left in front of the waterway?
Is there still giant banging echoes coming down?
Oh
from
yeah,
that one?
absolutely. I'm sorry, I forgot to reiterate that. Trying to go at a faster pace here. So as you came into this lower recess, sorry I call, you do hear this very repetitive every 5 seconds or so. There's this giant permeating like echo that erupts down here, and as you get closer to the fork in the road, you recognize that it actually comes from the right, which just to save grace here, the group kind of informed you that over in that direction there's this giant waterfall, and there's a huge water wheel of some kind of contraption that seems to be harnessing the movement of the water and converting it into some kind of
The
mechanical.
energy, yeah.
And so that this noise, the party assumed, is derived from this building, from this mechanicalness of there, and it just makes a very large echoing slam noise of some kind of metal against metal every 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, out of character, we never explored that, like actually where the energy was going, right? I don't think.
No,
we
it
did.
went into a wall.
Yeah, it went
Yeah, it
into
went
the
into the
wall.
wall. We
Mhm.
never looked further. Well, I think we were able
Really?
to guesstimate that it was going towards the Midan side, I
Right.
think. So we assumed it was powering the city in some way or doing something in some way for Midan. I think is what we left thinking.
Yeah.
All I know is I don't want to sleep near that thing.
Yeah. Well, how loud is it right here at the fork where the camp was?
Not to the point where you would not be able to sleep, but definitely loud enough where it's noticeable.
I guess here would be all right.
So I would
So the-
argue that it's definitely under the volume of a shout. But if you go towards if you're from the waterfall, it's definitely gonna be. I mean, if you get to the waterfall itself, it's loud enough that you would consider it almost a shout. It
We
kinda
wouldn't go
drown-
that far.
It kind
Yeah.
of drowns out your.
I
ability
just want to
sleep.
find something that's not on the main path that we could just basically sleep in.
However, to
Like,
note,
is
if
that
you-
what we want to do?
if you did go to the right, you would go to the place where our first fan art was made. Just
Oh
FYI.
boy,
Oh my god.
it was good fan art too.
Great fan art.
All right.
I think where the rest of the people had campsites would be an alright idea.
It's down the main pipeline, basically.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys bust out your sleeping bags.
Let's take shifts.
And
I'll take first.
is there any roll call of what you're planning on doing here, or anything you'd like to do to try to protect yourselves?
Yeah, we're staying up. Call's going first. I'm going second.
I can take third or fourth shift. I just need 4 hours of sleep.
I'll get third then.
So with that, you guys bunker down and start taking rest. So Call, you're first, right?
Yep.
All right, Call. As everyone else kind of bunkers down into what sleeping arrangements they have, and as far off onto the side of the wall as they can. It's a tight, confined area. It's a little bit more berth here as to where this little tent community was, which is why it was where they built in the first place. But close enough to the road where people are effectively, you know, within 20 feet, 20, 30 feet of you as they come through, no matter where you basically decide to put your arrangement.
Right.
So you kind of, our guys are against the wall as tight as you can, gain as much space as possible, and you keep your eyes open, like looking for any individual that would be suspicious. And during the entire exchange, there is a significant amount of movement actually that happens during your stay here, of which perception check wouldn't be very helpful here. This is just, it has so much traffic that we'd rely on passive perception here. There's too many things. It's not just like one sound, something like, oh, you're constantly being re-alerted. Like every 10 minutes, a pair of people are moving by, or a group of people moving by. As you are having these individuals come through you, though, come near your camp per se, and walking through, you do see. Can you make a intelligence check for me?
Sure thing. That's a 12.
12. So from your count, it's not so much a pattern, but you do recognize that there are far more groups that are moving towards Midan than are returning from Midan's side. Several expressions on the faces of the people moving towards Midan seem much more happy and gleeful, and the people that are moving towards deeper into the mine seem much more sorrowful and upset. Overall, you reckon that there's probably, over the course of your 2 hours, there's probably an exchange of maybe 40 or so more individuals end up being moved towards Midan's side than there is being people walking towards Hammerhold's side.
Right.
Of which your 2 hours then eventually transpire. None of these individuals decide to communicate with you unless you want to talk to them. And so then your 2 hours have transpired. You're free to stay up or wake up the next person.
I'm gonna wake up the next person.
Okay, that being?
I believe it was said that it was Doma, yeah?
He can answer.
So, I'm gonna go walk over to Doma and give him a quick nudge on the shoulder.
My turn.
It is your turn, yes.
Alright.
There's a lot of movement, so just keep your eyes peeled.
And Call's gonna take a cat nap.
Okay, so you stretch out, do that fantastic cat yawn where you spread your fingers out as far as you can.
Like one leg is really stretched back.
Yes. The cat stretch.
The jaw almost coming unhinged when you
Yeah.
the tongue lapping out just a little bit, curls upward. You eventually then decide to stretch out, and then you go to sleep. It's now Doma. You're up here, and go ahead and make a 2 checks for me, Doma. Well, actually, start with the intelligence check first, Doma.
I'm gonna guess nothing reset yet.
What are you trying to refer to, lucky?
Hmm.
It has not been a new day, so no, lucky has not reset.
What was it? I'm sorry.
Intelligence
check.
It's not a skill. It's just you look at your modifier for int and you add it to whatever you have, or subtract, which you should be a +1.
Yeah, +1. So 7.
7. Yeah. You're in the ballpark where you see people moving back left and right, and you just are very guarded, and so you're kind of just more like looking, trying to see if anyone it's like if they're kind of going for their weapon or anything like that. So you're on edge. The next 2 hours is very uncomfortable. Kind of lose track of how many people go by overall, and eventually, you do recognize that your 2 hours have transpired and you're tired again, and you would like to go back to sleep and finish your rest.
Wasn't I supposed to do 2 checks?
No, you didn't roll high enough for the second. I realized that was a fallacy.
Alright, it's my shift. I move over and nudge Roderick awake. turn, my guy.
All right. Anything?
A lot of traffic. Nothing suspicious yet.
Good.
That I noticed anyway.
Good. All right. Have a good rest.
Catch you in the morning, night, whatever time it is.
Huh. All right.
Doma goes to bed.
Okay. Roderick, intelligence check.
20.
20.
Unnatural.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So, over the course of your 2 hours, you, very similar to a call, know for a fact there are far more people moving to Midan than returning from Midan back towards your current possession. More traffic is heading towards Midan City than is headed towards, towards deeper into the mines. As you are thinking over this and seeing this large difference in numbers and the expressions they have on their faces, you do get the notion that the majority of these people, the ones that seem to be happy, they're probably being relieved of duty. The mission of reclaiming the mines has been fulfilled, and so a few soldiers are being stuck here as per their occupation. But those that were drafted to be forced through are being relinquished. And so some are being dispatched back to Midan to resume their normal lives. You're not sure of what ramifications of who gets to be picked or not, but overall you're seeing that there seems to be a consistent exodus of individuals that have gone by. And your shift, you recognize that there's, you count through them, and you feel like that there's at least in the ballpark of around 70 plus more individuals that move towards Midan than come back from it. Which makes you feel like that's a very consistent thing. If you do some quick math over the 2 hours, you recognize that several hundred soldiers get sent back to Midan every day, and so with approximation, you feel like over the next, they'll probably have a plan of about maybe 2 weeks or so before they're going to have the bare bone minimums of a patrol unit, just kind of keeping things in relative check throughout the mines, and then you don't know what they'll do from there, kind of thing. So there's probably going to be kind of this like relative disarmament that's taking place over a planned 2 weeks, is what you're expecting here.
Okay.
On top of that, can you make insight checks? Or insight check.
Inside. Where we at? Oh, I gotta pass that. All right, so that'd be 16.
16. Sorry, I'm just doing math. On your shift, as you're walking through, you do notice that one person stands out to you as they're making their way through. There's two individuals that are walking, they're talking with each other, and then they make eye contact with you. They kind of get as much berth away from your group as possible, and this other person's tailing behind them. Their positioning, their body language seems that they're not really part of that group. They're kind of just tailing as close as they can without being uncomfortable with those individuals. And as they walk by, your eyes and their eyes may meet for a brief period of time. The person body language just shifts just slightly as they then continue walking past your guys' encampment. And then you break sight with them.
Did I know it was? Or is it just...
Those are the actions you saw. You saw this unusual body language because of your higher insight.
Okay.
Of which your 2 hours have passed at this point. You are free to wake up the next individual if you'd like.
All right. Let's gently tap Evelyn.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Anything happen?
No, not for the most part. It's just a general, it's like a de-escalation of arms. But otherwise, I don't know. Some guy gave me a weird vibe as he passed by.
All right.
Well, I guess I'll head to bed for now.
Yeah. Get some rest. And
Thanks.
I will resume my post.
Okay. Evelyn, as you enter into your last 2 hours here, with that in mind, make an intelligence check with advantage.
$17.
Okay. Very similar to Roderick's experience. You come to a very similar conclusion. There's a large amount of more people. The reason you had advantage is that Roderick gave you a big hint into what he concluded and it put you back in line. So your character is now aware of the same things. And that's effectively 2 hours go by. You guys are not attacked. No one interacts with your group because you guys chose not to interact with anyone, apparently. So 8 hours fulfilled, long rest achieved, half hit dice are restored, hit points are filled, spell slots are refreshed, magical items are refreshed, luck resets. I bite my tongue.
Ah, yes. Welcome back, Luck.
Yeah, Domo, you suddenly just feel a surge of more power available to you from that stupid feat. All right, so you guys are woken up to the beautiful sound of a every 5 seconds or so. There is still a sizable amount of people every now and then making their way through this little area. You guys kind of pack your things up. You can go ahead and consume a ration if you would like to.
Heck yeah.
Lay on hands.
Lay on hands. You want to sit there for an unforeseeable amount of time and have everyone wait?
Unforeseeable amount of time.
Is that what you want to
I
do?
don't know. Are we planning to leave immediately, or can I do it while we're doing rations?
I mean, that would be choosing not to eat while everyone else is eating, and that means you
Okay.
would not. That
I
means you
won't
would
eat
not
while
eat.
everyone else will eat. I'll just eat while I walk.
Oh, you think you can do that?
With a ration?
I mean, if you want to try.
Oh god, here we go.
Yes.
All
Gonna
right.
choke on his food.
Greedy.
Nat
Going
one
in,
dies.
choking and die.
You're just trying to
Yep.
have it. You're just trying to have it all, Doma. You're just trying to have it all.
Look, I'm just trying to take after my role model, Laris.
All right. This has been noted, Doma. This has been noted. We'll just put that right here. That Doma thinks he can eat and walk at the same time.
Doma thinks he can eat and walk at the same time. It's a mystery.
Make a Constitution check for me.
For the eating or for the
Just
spell?
make it. I don't have to explain
Yes.
myself. Just make a Constitution check.
Luck. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not a saving throw. It's a check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12.
Okay. Noted. All right.
I
Wow.
vomit profusely.
Moving on. So you can go ahead at this point. We'll see if you're laying hands. So while everyone else is eating, Doma just immediately moves up to Aniel, who seems groggy, not very well constituted at the moment. And as you reach out to touch her, you do feel a connection as the energy is leaving your hand to her, but this feels very reminiscent as to one of the more original times, and you recognize that you'll have to do this for probably an hour for it to succeed.
An hour?
Yes, it's going to take longer than everyone else is staying. So as you feel the energy, it feels very nostalgic to one of the first or second times you've done it. And then you can go at this rate, it's going to probably take an hour before this completes. Of which you alert the group that the current circumstances, of which now it's your guys' decision, because otherwise they're going to leave without you, kind of thing.
It's up to them. Do you guys want to wait a bit? Remind, I suppose.
I'm okay. You don't have to do that. We don't need to delay ourselves for my benefit.
Please. If we lose you, we're gonna be in a rough spot, Aniel. You're definitely important. What do you guys think?
That's fine. Just do it.
Thanks, guys.
Do it well.
That's right.
Okay, so an hour transpires. You guys are now an hour delayed, but your spell does finish. You lose all your lay on hand hit points. there is that successful feeling that it has achieved the goal. It did not like crackle off at the last minute or anything like that. You have successfully completed your lay on hands ritual, of which there's a warmth that leaves your fingertips and moves up the small of her back, and you see it kind of wash off into her, and then it just get absorbed into her body. And some of the feathers along her back seem to get a little bit like they kind of, almost like a flower when sunlight hits it, the leaves kind of slowly augment a little bit. They kind of flex out. Some of the feathers just twitch just a little bit, kind of changing their perspective. Overall, though, as you stare upon her, the back of her, though, I do need you to make a medicine check.
Okay. I'll make a -1 check. Oh, 16.
16. So, comparing her relative health as to what you've seen thus far, they're trying as you are. You're not seeing an improvement in her physicality. You noted that there are even less plumage on her back now. She's probably at 25% of her normal wingspan at this point. And even like the arcing backbone of the wing is starting to crack at the tips and looks very fragile. And you inspect into that and you recognize that it's breaking off and parts of it are disappearing. It doesn't look like it's a smooth, like elegant piece anymore, as if like part of an armchair that's been just nicked and broken away over time. From your quick assessment, it looks like she's losing her wings for sure. The entirety of it, not just like feathers falling off, which is moderately concerning to you. But beyond that, the rest of her health, she still has a pulse, a little bit weaker than what you'd want, but she seems to be alive. There doesn't seem to be a fever or any other ailments that's afflicting her. You can relatively conclude that it's probably still with whatever the fuck she did back at the lake. Though you're not familiar with whatever the fuck is happening, so you don't have any other insight besides that.
All right.
At this point, you guys then gather your things and stand up, and now you're at that fork in the road. You can go right towards the waterfall. You can go straight towards the elevator shaft, and you can go left towards the drowned hallway, we'll call it.
To the elevator.
Down the
Yeah,
hatch.
elevator.
Let's head back to Midan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's that option too. Let's not forget that. Okay, so you make your way towards the elevator shaft, and so as you get over there, you see that there's several ropes and there's several station guards that are currently like at the ropes, making sure that the ropes are intact and that they support people. And as you currently get to it, you do see a small little daisy chain of individuals currently climbing up at this exact moment. So they kind of put their hands up. Hold, wait, just one moment. We gotta let these people get up here first, and then when they get up, we'll let you go down. So you guys have to wait your turn. As you are waiting there, you guys are free to do what you want at the moment. Of which nothing is wanted. Okay.
I'm gonna turn to one of the. Are they just like guards? Are they like what are they dressed as? Who are these people?
They are dressed, and what you see is a bronze armor. They have these bronze sheaths and bronze hilt swords. You see the crest of the bronze blade on their shoulder pad. These look like people that their normal profession would be that of a blade. It's not like they became the militaristic like draft. And so you recognize that these probably people are much more trained, much more seasoned.
Right.
And that you figure that this is their actual posting and is going to be for some time.
Right.
Probably on some kind of rotation.
I'll approach one of them and just, excuse me.
Yes?
Could you tell me what's the current status of the mines right now?
Current status of the mines? He gives you a look. Make a persuasion check.
$24.
a lot higher than what I was expecting. All right. Yeah. I don't see really why we hold it. Per Captain Whitebeard, we are now starting to enact into the disarmament portion of it. The mines have, at least we are on the impression, have been fully claimed, so it should be safe travels through. However, be aware that there are still creatures that we can't always control, so you might run into a random creature that just burrows its way out and attack you, so I would say be on guard, but overall there's a good presence of soldiers down there. It should be a safe trip. We're trying to keep enough soldiers here so that way people feel safe enough to send trade through, and that's going to be lasting for a while. So any merchants or friends that you have on the other side should feel very, for lack of a better word, safe to travel through here. So please spread the word on your way through the other side, because we would like to have the more people that use it, the more we, I don't know, satisfaction that it's working, I guess? Does that answer your question?
You guys made really quick work of that. That's impressive. Thank you.
Sure.
I step back to the group.
Make an insight check.
Ooh.
Not good. 8.
We're failing these.
And we're not doing well on the insights.
Okay.
I did so bad. I
Then
didn't
return
even get
back
one.
to your group, of which everyone else is kind of just waiting here. And at this moment, you see the last person's finally making their way up, and they slip a bit. And then one of the guards makes his way over. Here, let me help you up there. And he reaches down, he pulls up one of these soldiers. Poof! The person's foot left. Oh, thank you very much. Oh gosh, it was a bit of a snafu down there, but we're all safe now. And the two of them kind of, you're fine. And the individual starts making their way past there with their group on their way back towards Midan. You're up if you would like to head down now.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, march in order, please.
I'm afraid.
I'll go first.
Okay. All right, so this, we'll say, we'll say right over here. Don't worry, nothing bad's gonna happen.
Where?
You're all just gonna fall to your death. It's fine.
Top. So grab your tokens. And then march in order. This is the person who'll be the last to go. The person down here will be taking it first, basically. So imagine a rope. Whee! Right, going down.
Go
Do we want me to be the last one to like cover the flank, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like best.
You're the dexterous person. You should probably, yeah.
Okay.
I can save Doma.
Doma decides to go first. I got it, guys, he says as he starts slowly walking down.
Woo!
Too oblivious to feel any of the panic. And so what you guys see is
Can't read the mood.
when you're looking down this rope situation, it's not just, I know this is a really crappy drawing here. It's not one rope by itself. It's a bunch of ropes that are kind of daisy chained together to form like a net, basically. So you can imagine several others coming down as well. And then there's these
like a makeshift ladder net
there's these cross ropes on the side. Yes, it's a rope ladder, effectively. That's meshed out over here. Easier of access to currently work on it. As you start climbing down, though, Doma goes first. And then the rest of you, and you're not like literally in a single file line, okay? It is you're straddled off to a bit. It's like, Roderick's off to the side a little bit, Evan right there,
right.
etc. You're not, but overall, one person goes first and everyone else kind of follows behind them. As you go through, Evelyn, you make one more final eye contact with that guard you were talking with before you then slowly start making your way down the rope. And you guys
keeping my eye on him as long as I can.
And so
ropes are gone.
One step after the other.
Fall down the elevator staff again.
And you guys start slowly your pace through. 1 foot down. You securely put your foot in. You look, okay, good. You then move your one hand down. You're very methodical, and you're slowly downscaling of this ladder rope of sorts. And after about a minute of walking, you guys safely arrive to the bottom.
Hey, we're not dead.
of which you dust yourself off. Evelyn, you, for a moment, were a little anxious there, thinking that maybe something could have happened. This was a very opportune moment for something bad to happen to you guys, and nothing happened. So you kind of dismiss it for a moment, but you're still on guard, still on edge, and you guys pick yourselves up and start continuing down here. So as you get down here, down this point now, a week later, in this chaff, you do see several dwarves down here at the bottom, talking, as well as other military people. You do see a couple small tents up here. This is the first shantytown tent you run into. It's not very large. There are at least 3 to 4 dwarves that do not look like they're armed to the teeth with weapons. The most they have on them are like daggers, very small things. One of them's currently got this giant scroll rolled out in front of him, and he's pointing to things on the scroll, as the other one's kind of like gesturing to him, like shrugging, and kind of, it looks like they're talking, planning about something. You guys start making your way around them, unless you want to do anything with them. You continue past these individuals, of which you now have made your way into. This is a relatively straight shoot. It bends a little bit here and there as you wind, but it's a tight corridor, about 20 feet wide. So you could stand, 4 people could stand shoulder to shoulder, and you guys make your way down the tunnel. At least once every minute, you run into a new patrol of individuals. You're not sure if they're actually a patrol that's here permanently, or if it's another group that's being slowly dismissed back towards Midan. But you're running into a fair amount of individuals that, as you make your way down these corridors, you guys kind of have to move off to the right-hand side of the road, and then they move off the left side that you guys pass. And after about, I think it's, an hour of travel, you'll eventually find yourself at the top of a very large cliff. And in front of you is a giant triangle silhouette of a building that's just black. However, it's not as black as you remember your second time. Third? No, it's not your second time. It would be, that's third. Yeah, it's like your fourth. It's like your fourth time seeing it. Yeah.
Fourth time through this little area.
This building at this point, I think. You see the first temple. That's what you see, and you see that there are lights that have been put into here. The Agnir gems have been just like drilled right into the ground. They're providing light, and some of the light washes off against the temple. But think of it more like almost like an excavation part. It's not. There's large amount of blackness and pockets out along the ceiling and stuff like that. It's not showing you the entirety of the room, unlike the original giant green beam that was coming out of the top of it before. There's not as much light in here as there was back then, and so there's these large amount of black pockets that exist everywhere. But there's these little, almost like an airway strip at night. There's these little lines that of stones that wind down, guiding you down safely onto down either the left or the right, and some of that light kind of bounces off into the temple itself. You do see there does appear to be several dwarves congregated down near the bottom of the temple. A few of them look like they're actually scaling right now. You see ropes kind of tied off to the top. You see like pitons that were drilled in. There's a couple of people near the top, and they're just kind of like maybe archaeologists are looking it over. You're not fully certain what they're doing, but seems to be activity. A fair amount of activity up here. Several of these people don't look like they're militaristic individuals, much like the group you saw previously. It seems like there's either citizens or researchers are starting to investigate what this thing is, things of that nature. And you're starting to see more of like this, less of a wartime attitude and more of a let's continue on with affairs, kind of like it's kind of transitioning. Is what you're noticing here. There is still a relative mass of individuals that are armed in here. You see probably a quick estimate, maybe 50 or so people are kind of walking around patrolling. Some of them that are patrolling are making their way towards your current location, which is at the top. So maybe they've been dismissed too. You're not fully certain. Of which you guys have the option now. Would you like to go left, right? How would you like to proceed forward? To jump off the 150-foot tall cliff, whatever.
To the right.
Got on
Just
the
want to take
right?
the easy path.
Right.
Right. Okay, so you make a right.
What does
so,
it look like the people excavating it are doing exactly?
Make a perception check.
Oh boy, -1.
Oh boy. Win.
10.
10. Really hard to tell. Not great quality light, and what they have over in their area is that you can see these like silhouettes of individuals, and they have papers and they're writing things down, but you can't really ascertain what they're doing. It's kind of hard to know, honestly.
I'm assuming just research.
There's about looks like there's about 2 to 3 people at the top, and there's about 7 total of them on the top of the temple, on the outer structure, at random points, investigating different things. Maybe one of them's climbing up, one of them might be climbing down, one of them might be like in the mid run, who's currently taking a break, or he's got a book open. The two at the top are currently they're the ones that seem to be more actively engaged. Like one of them's like peeking over the top of it as he looks down into it, and he pulls his pen back in. He says something to the guy behind him. The guy behind him writes something down onto a scroll.
What does he say?
What does he say? You wouldn't have no
I don't
idea.
know.
It's like 100 feet towards that center of that temple. And they're not shouting. They're talking.
Darn.
What does he say, damn it?
Oh! I want to send Krista over to.
Spy.
I mean,
No, I'm just kidding.
One
Yeah,
of
to
you might
eavesdrop.
be able to tell, actually,
Ooh.
depending if you cared.
Ooh.
Yeah.
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 Would you care though, Akal?
No, he's more focused on keeping everybody safe. and
Exactly.
getting
Yeah,
through.
that's what I figured. So Call totally sees very well all these shenanigans with this passive perception of like 21, whatever it is, and you see their lips moving, but you just not really interested in them. You're looking for outliers, right? You're looking for people that are dangerous to your group. You're much more of a one-track mind at the moment. So Call, from your perspective, go ahead and make an insight check. See if you see anyone that seems standing out that might be doing no good.
Oof. That would be a 24.
24. So people on top of the temple, no, they don't seem to be interested in you all. They all are on their own affairs. Yeah, you don't feel anything ill coming from that group. They're just too focused on whatever it is. They got an objective and they're trying to meet it. Does not involve with you, at least you don't think so. The guards that are stationed nearby, some of them are eyeing you, but they don't seem to be too interested with your group overall. You feel that in this room in front of you, there doesn't seem to be any assailant that's currently marking you or targeting you. You don't feel endangered, at least here at this moment. Okay. Anything else anyone wants to do in this room?
I just want to keep moving.
Right.
Yep. Gonna mutter under his breath. Hope they won't make any sense of that. That's probably for the best.
Probably.
You guys make your way down the right ramp, which has got these little Agnier stones on the left-hand side near the drop, basically, kind of clearly shining it. You slowly make the arc downwards. You get down to the ground level, which is now 150 feet lower in altitude. You're near the basin. You see the temple, and with its 200 feet by 200 feet by 200 feet tall structure. You do see that there is some more prominent glow near the cliff face itself, where you guys know there was that illusionary wall at one point in time. You can't quite see it from your current vantage point, but you know that there would be a path over there if you want to take that path. And then there happens to be also the path off to straight to your right, which would be moving towards what you would deduce is the second temple. Which method of travel would you like to approach?
Whatever we remember would be the quickest route, I guess.
That's hard to say, unfortunately. Despite your expertise, it's really hard to gauge which of these was faster. You know the right should take you to the second temple where you were assailed by an army of Thanes. Right, let's just call them Thanes. And if you make a left, you would then theoretically eventually find a fork in the road where you can make a right where you fought a golem being assailed by these things, or you could go straight and eventually get to the third temple, which will then have the opportunity to go to the center of the facility.
Or is it middle and then to the center and then we go out? I think that's how we did it, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It has literally been
I
way too
wonder,
long to remember that long ago.
You know that both directions will lead outward. Left or right will eventually get you there, because in fact
Let's
you've
just take
taken
the
both.
path that looks the most traveled.
The path that you last took with your rams was you took the right one. That will get you towards the
The third temple.
that'll be the second temple is what it would be.
Oh,
The
okay.
second you run into, well, if we're seeing them chronologically, it's the second temple you run into, and would it be if you go past that temple, you would then run into the antechamber where there was prison
Right.
cells that you guys blew
Let's
up
go
with
that
stone.
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you decide to go the right, and so not sure which one would be faster, but that's the one you go through. As you're making way through, you do see dwarves. Not like that's surprising, but dwarves with mining gear, and hard hats on and stuff like that. And it looks like they're starting to excavate certain portions of this giant antechamber. Not antechamber. I keep using that term. This giant room you're in, they're starting to dig new holes. They're starting to dig new passageways. You're seeing activity of individuals with carts filled with Agnir. Agnir is already starting to be mined and gathered again. You're starting to see that there's a level of activity here that definitely wasn't there before. It seems like the dwarves are quickly getting back on pace with things. You're seeing, as you make further down this passageway here, you're seeing more and more of such activities. Less and less of these armed forces and more of day-to-day fare of what you would expect a mine to look like normally. You see people taking breaks, some people are eating, some people are talking. There is still a fair sense of military here, but nowhere near what you saw previously. It seems much more of a standard. Maybe every 10 minutes you might run into a group of maybe three or so dwarves walking in tandem with each other down this passageway. You get the notion that probably this passageway was probably the easier one for them to secure, which is why there's less military here. They probably had more difficulty with the left one, so maybe your decision to go this way was better. Who knows? Only the DM does. With that, you continue.
Whoever that guy is.
With that, you continue. Eventually, you get to the second temple, of which you're now on the ground level, the same level as this temple. This temple does not have ramps that lead upward. Wait. Yeah, I don't think this one does. No, it does.
It was only the first one.
First one did, and then this. Well, either way, I forget, so it's irrelevant at this point. You have the option to continue forward. There is no other route, so you have the temple. This temple has a bunch of dwarves clambered on top of it too, looking like they're doing research on it. There is a large amount of dwarves also making new tunnels in here as well. You see piles of dirt being moved around and put in carts. Holes here and there, guys with pickaxes chiming away. It sounds like there's a large amount of excavation happening in this area here. As you come through, one of the dwarves, who seems to be kind of the boss of these miners, he gives you guys a quick eye and he kind of gestures for you to go to the left, not on the right side of the room, but to the left. As you with that notion, he kind of like makes his way over towards you and he hails you down real quick. Try to avoid the right side. We got heavy equipment working over there drilling, and we don't want any injuries. Please stay on the left. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Hugging the left-hand side, you make your way around and you eventually get back to the other outlet, which was the one that you did not get to go to originally because the army of fiends scared you away. You are now entering into that hallway. You make your turn. You eventually pass the theoretical opportunity to turn right to go down into the little prison area of sorts, of which you see there's a large amount of activity of dwarves here too, currently hammering away, drilling away, etc., etc., etc. And you guys eventually get to that point where you've now spent your next day here in the mines. You are really close to that point in the road where you know there will be a fork in the road where you can go right or you can go straight. If you go straight, you should continue the circle of the outer ring of the Midan mines, or if you go right, you should be making your way to Stone's Rest. And you're at that point right now where that opportunity, that junction is very soon. You could take a rest here, or you could go ahead and ignore it and persevere to Stone's Rest. It's your choice.
really curious how they're dealing with Stone's Rest.
I was kind of curious about that too, but do we want to rest before we get there, or?
Yes, that's just in case.
Sure.
Okay. So you guys
We rest.
bunker down this tunnel. There's not a very opportune moment. It's this tunnel is only 20 feet by 20 feet, so you guys just grab a spot. People have to walk around you. Are we doing the same roll call from the previous day?
Probably.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I need a perception check from Ikal.
22.
22. So you hear a large amount of throughout your 2-hour shift of some kind of like picks going off, and it sounds like there's some kind of large contraption that's being utilized. So it's got all very reminiscent of like a power drill in our world, but you guys really aren't as familiar with it in your world. This is very like a large. As part of the ground shakes a little bit, you can feel like a little bit of the ground rumbling. Whatever the dwarves are doing down there is pretty heavy work. Overall, there's very few people that actually come down this passageway where you guys are. You might have a total of 3 groups of dwarves come through at one point in time. 2 of those groups happen to be that of soldiers, and one of the groups just happen to be potentially miners or citizens that are just making their way through. It's kind of hard to tell. Though you said it was a 22, right? Your perception?
Yes, correct. 22.
Yeah. So you would recognize that those two, this group of 3 individuals happens to be citizens that don't have as much dirt caked onto them, and they have. Oh.
Oh, Overwatch. All right.
Yeah, my bad.
Hello?
I forgot my phone's volume is on right now. I was not expecting a call. Normally I don't get calls. So with that, you do recognize that these 3 individuals do not have dirt caked onto them. They're not wearing military garb. They have really heavy backpacks packed and loaded heavily, like with a large amount of stuff. Their eyes do turn towards you and your group. They stay on the opposite side of the wall that you are currently on as they pass by. They offer like half smiles to you as they then continue going forward. No other interaction from this individual group, and then your 2 hours do eventually transpire.
All right. And then I'd go wake up Doma. He'd get his shift. I'd go to sleep.
Okay. And then Doma, can you go ahead and make a perception check for me?
17.
17. Wow, here we go. Now we're starting to get higher rolls. So for you, Doma, you do recognize a total of 3 dwarf patrols come through, all equipped with weapons and armor and of such. Yeah, you are definitely noticing a relative lacking of personnel that comes through here. Over a 2-hour period of time, there is only 3 patrols over the entire period. That's pretty sparse compared to what you were seeing originally. These individuals seem to avoid you over the majority of the day. No intention of getting too close to you, especially since they recognize that one of you are. Oh, God damn it, phone! One of you is awake and watching them. And then your 2 hours go by, nothing bad happens.
Cool. I wake up Roderick.
No, he's already awake. I'm just kidding. Yes.
Exhaustion.
All right.
Exhaustion.
Anything?
Nothing interesting.
Good. All right. Get some rest.
Okay.
Okay, Roderick. So on your shift, as you are staying up, you do see one person by themselves walking through. They have a hood on over their head.
Fucking Roderick every time.
This
God
person
damn it, Roderick.
not familiar with you. They seem more on the lithe scale. Lithe scale, not light. Lithe.
A single person, you said?
A single person by themselves, which is what makes it stand out for you. And goddamn phone.
Someone really wants to get a hold of me.
Apparently. Do I need to panic over this? Okay. So with that, this individual goes by, and you do see that they're past their hood. You do see this pair of eyes, and they're just staring at you as they keep walking past. Their head just awkwardly turns towards you, almost like one of those portraits that the eyes train you as you move around. It kind of just like stays locked on you as they move past your group. Make an insight check.
Alrighty. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. You get a very bad vibe from this individual. They're very shelled off into themselves, and they're kind of hunched into themselves, and it feels like that you can tell they're very, very nervous around your group. It's to a level where you don't feel comfortable near them at all. And you are very grateful when they leave without causing any immediate strife to you at the moment.
I have so many questions. I mean,
So I couldn't. Whatever.
Unless you wanted to do something.
Alright, do you want to do something?
No, I mean, it's his turn.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The first he would use the Wake of Mind because Evelyn should be
Wake of
somewhat
Mind?
awake.
Oh, okay.
He would whisper into her mind. Wake up. Do not move though. There's someone I'm getting a bad vibe from. I'm gonna engage him if I can.
my eyes open and I just sit still.
Okay, and you.
Well,
you're stirred
hello
awake.
there.
Can you make a stealth check, Evelyn, to try? No.
Ooh.
Performance check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Performance check. I was trying for you to be
Both I
quiet,
am
but
shitty
With
at.
I
advantage.
want you to try to pretend you're
Both
sleeping.
I am shitty at. Okay, let's see.
How are you bad at
With
performance?
advantage.
It's charisma based.
That's true. So it's a 15.
15. So you are woken up and you kind of catch yourself quick enough before you make too much noise, and you just kind of pretend it's like as if you're like turning in your sleep. And you are awake. And then Roderick,
Alright,
at this
so-
point, do you stand up and approach them, or do you just say sup as you're sitting down?
He will stand up.
You stand up, okay.
Hello.
Just a little busy over here. I'm sorry, didn't mean to wake you up. Just mind.
You sure? You seem a little antsy.
That's
A little
a-
perturbed.
They turn towards you, facing you completely, and there's like a shakiness to them, and they just slowly start backing away from you. Yeah. Goodbye, and they just turn and start running for it.
Whole person.
Whole person.
Oh! Yeah, I
Wait, how
love
far is he
this
from me?
one.
I love this group.
How far is he from me, though? Just make sure.
How far is he from you?
I love Polaris walked away.
How far? Yeah, they're probably in the ballpark of 35 feet or so, 40 feet.
Yep, whole person.
Yeah. Okay. So
Wisdom saving.
yeah, I hate to tell you this. It's a natural 17. I need to check the stats on this. So
They
if
probably fail.
they have negative
Or save.
wisdom, then you succeed. They do not have negative wisdom. They passed. So as you cast the spell, they kind of walk for a moment. They slow down a little bit, and then they kind of stumble, and they just keep running, sprinting away from you.
Where's the cat when you need him?
I
Currently
call it.
sleep. Currently
Yeah.
sleep.
I mean, he honestly probably would be awake right now because of all the like yelling and stuff. But
Well, it wasn't yelling. It was conversation, and then he just backed away and then ran for it. It's not like Roderick growls, "Hold person!" when he casts hold person. Right? It's not your
natural
your
17.
MMO
God, that
here.
sucks.
Yeah.
You said it was a natural
Rainbow.
17.
Man.
maybe you should have woke the cat up.
So
Just saying.
the person just flat out sprints as fast as they can away from you.
Jesus.
What do you want to do, Roderick?
Wait, how far are they? How far away are they from me?
As
I
so
had a
you,
really
you, like,
bad
you,
idea.
You stand up. You
Fireball.
Roderick tried to cast something. You can recognize the gestures, and I think there's actually incantation on that one.
Somatic.
It didn't work
And-
with that point. You do sit up, and technically it'd be your turn. They're now in the ballpark of, I don't know, 70, 80 feet away from you at this point. It's like 85 feet about.
So okay, I wake up and what did I hear? I heard him say,
You heard the conversation of basically like, hey, you seem nervous around me, and the person like this is a normal conversation. Like a person walking by, why are you nervous with me? Is what you think, but that's what you hear Roderick say, and the person's like, yeah, bye, and they just run. Is pretty much what you kind of picked up out of it. You're technically prone at this moment, but because you're pretending to sleep still. But you.
I whispered to Roderick, like, do you want me to chase him?
No.
All right.
Okay. So you just sit up and then you just what? Ow.
Has it been 4 hours?
What?
Yeah, I mean for you, yes. Roderick's the third shift, so you don't even need.
Okay.
Yeah, you're awake.
Eh. I don't really have anything that I can do that wouldn't like probably hurt them, so I'm just gonna
Fireball.
not.
Yeah, just throw a fireball down
anything.
there. That won't
No.
collapse the tunnel.
No, I thought about dimension dooring and like trying to talk to the person, but I don't think it's worth it. So I'm
Moonbeam.
not gonna bother.
Okay.
Fucking potato.
So with
But
that,
did I remember-
Evelyn
did I-
gets
okay, I
up.
got-
She seems to be fully awake, Roderick, and you're kind of under a lot of
So-
stress, let's say.
How many times have we seen?
Twice now.
How many times have we seen a single person in the mines follow, like just traveling though?
So you're talking with Roderick right here about this at this moment.
Like coming this far, you mean?
Yeah, like, but I'm asking the DM more than anyone. Like, have we seen a lot of people that are moving singly through this area?
There's been a couple, not a large amount. Not this passageway for sure.
So Roderick, we
You get the notion over the right passageway you took was probably not the preferred passageway that most people are taking. It seems more about excavation. There's most of the people you're running into were people that are just mining away, starting to get back to jobs, back to work basically.
right.
There's not a large amount
But
of.
they were
guards.
mostly moving in groups, right?
Yeah. There's you over your entire course here of the mines, you maybe run into 3 instances that you were awake for that you've seen where one person was by themselves moving somewhere.
All right, so
Whether
quietly,
you know
I'm
what
gonna...
their purpose was, you don't know, but it's
Right.
not common at the moment, which makes
Right.
sense based off of the mine being still superstition the fuck out.
So quietly, I'll just ask Roderick. Okay, so we don't see a lot of people moving about on their own.
Yeah.
5 of us,
Okay.
with maybe good reason. I mean, I'm assuming word has spread about what happened.
Maybe. But,
Why else would he be fleeing in terror from us?
well, didn't he come? Wait, didn't he come from behind us? Where he came from?
Did he have any cover?
No, it was because he came from.
He
from
came
behind
from
us.
Midan's side, and he's headed towards Karat's side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So he
I
was coming from our
misunderstood.
direction.
fuck.
Yeah, he was coming from our direction, so that's why I was a little suspicious. And then the moment I made eye contact with him, again that bad vibe, and he just kind of freaked out a little bit.
We need to let everyone rest, but I don't like that he's in front of us now.
Mm.
Oh.
Just don't like to say not worry about it too much. I think we gave him at least good enough of a scare.
So, Roderick, 2 hours to go by. You can go back to sleep if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay. Evelyn, you're up. Is there anything you'd like to do?
No, just obviously keeping an eye out on what's going on.
Okay. So with that, Evelyn, no check necessary. There's only 2 patrols that come through the entire time. Both patrols come from Karat's side towards your current direction. None come from Midan's side through.
Did they seem disturbed by seeing the other guy at all? From what I can tell.
Make an insight check to see what their relative demeanor, unless you just want to flat out ask them.
Oh. No, I'm just gonna do a insight check.
Okay.
$21.
First group, which is about 25 minutes after the occurrence of this individual departing your guys' camp. They seem to be neutral intention. It's not like they hate you. It's not like they're for you. They give you respectable berth, but in the road they then kind of nod towards you, like as you're as they make eye contact with you. But you don't sense any ill will from them, and they don't seem to be disheveled or concerned about anything really. Anything that would be apparently related to that guy. I mean, it's kind of hard to make that gauge, right? So they don't seem to be on edge on something.
Okay.
And then the second group of your insight check, this group comes like an hour later, and it's so far in between that you can't. It's definitely could not be pertaining to that individual specifically, and they don't seem to be carrying any ill baggage on them. One of them seems to be drunk, though, as he makes his way through. He's a little too loud for your group. Some of the light sleepers in our group might be woken up for a brief period of time. They're like, oh, as they kind of like put their pillow over their ear or whatever.
Not Doma.
But then that group eventually passes by as well.
All right.
Your long rest has completed. You guys get up. You can subtract a ration from your foods.
All right.
And what would you all like to do? Continue? Or talk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Obviously,
I'll let 'em know.
We would tell the group what we saw.
Okay. So you guys walk and talk and inform each other of the strange dealings with one individual who was scared and concerned and nervous about your group, and that Roderick got a very bad feeling about.
He had a hood on. Come on now.
Oh, incriminating enough.
Yep.
And
Whole
clearly
person.
terrified of us.
Moonbeam.
Yeah, just should have killed him, man. What are you doing?
Where's the fireballs? Come on.
All right, so you guys continue your passageway, and it's an hour max before you eventually get to that fork in the road where you can go straight, or you can make a right and head towards Stone's Rest.
Stone's Rest. Stone's Rest.
Sounds rest.
Stone's Rest.
I want to rest on that stone.
So you make your way. To
Yeah, you get it.
You make your way to Stone's Rest. Okay.
I wonder if it's gonna be lit up.
It better be.
I'm afraid of the dark. Please.
I'm afraid of that specific dark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they wouldn't allow trade through here if it wasn't.
And everybody just get a scratch and walk through. No biggie.
Just a few traders disappear every once in a while.
Yeah.
Increase the armor.
It's-
Increase the army of the damned. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Un momento, por favor.
Hopefully
Eventually
his phone
corrupt
calls
the ball.
are too important.
We'll just come back one day and it'll be a shadow city. It'll be great. Great times.
All right. So you guys make your way down there, and after a couple hours of traveling, I think it's like 5 actually, to get out of that last hallway. Yeah. So you spend a good chunk, about half your day, making your way through this turn here, where you'll eventually get to Stone's Rest. Overall exchanges of individuals you see, you do run into a couple caravans of individuals, people with their hauling supplies towards Midan. Rams that are dragging very, very tight in this little corridor here. They're dragging through supplies of some sorts. You see boxes and crates and barrels kind of strapped into the wagon. And there's these dwarves kind of up in front of it, and they're trying to help push it through. And as they see you guys in front of them, there's kind of like this eye roll, like, God damn it, we gotta orchestrate this again. So they kind of push themselves as tight as against the wall as they can. There's barely enough of like width for you guys to just kind of like push yourselves against the wall to let them through. You can tell the mines are not intended for wagons or anything of the sorts, but there's supplies.
I wonder
You
how
guys
they're
see
gonna get him up
supplies
the elevator.
coming through here. And so You pass several caravans of individuals, at least probably, I would say 4 to 5 over this course of 5 hours here, of resources coming towards Midan. On top of that, you are now starting to see less and less of the bronze blade soldiers, and you're starting to see more and more of these dwarven soldiers that are wearing kind of like a black iron or dark iron sort of armaments, effectively. Call, you would know that these would be the disdainfully named flat-footed or the iron boots, as the kind of the show of force for the Karat side. There are still some soldiers of the Bronze Blades, still some patrols of them moving through this area, but overall, it seems that it's kind of this hallway here is where the shift kind of happens, where it's converted from Bronze Blades into iron boots. And so you do see several of these kind of groups kind of conspiring and talking with each other. That seems to kind of like orchestrating about who's in control of what. You guys recognize that you're kind of nearing the end of this hallway, and you don't see any leadership, so you figure that probably the majority of the higher ranking officers were probably on the south side of the mines, which was the left-hand turn, so you effectively avoided that. Whether that's good or bad, you kind of circumnavigated around that. Now here you are, moving your way into Stone's Rest itself. You guys eventually find yourself, and as you come out of the mines, you do see to your left-hand side, the giantly huge wedge that's been formed right down the... Whoops, that's not what I wanted to hit. What's the button that I hit? Okay, yeah, I accidentally hit like F11.
Good thing it wasn't F4.
So it activates some kind of full screen mode or something on your Internet Explorer. Okay, so you see Stone's Rest in its disheveled state, where there's just this huge like wedge of a giant fish that was formed on the east side of town. That's been destroyed about half of this community, and you do see the right side of the community, and you see several of the towers are all lit at the moment. There's this giant orange glow that just permeates out. You blink a couple times, still not necessarily accustomed to large sources of brilliant light. Our group, it takes you, well, you guys adjust to it much more quicker than a Call. Call kind of struggles with it for about a minute before he gets kind of accustomed to it. But the rest of you guys takes you 20 seconds, 10 to 20 seconds. And you've found yourselves in Stone's Rest. You do see that there is a fair amount of individuals that are here now. There's a large amount of soldiers moving around. There's a lot of blockades that have been placed around. It seems like part of the town has been quarantined off. The vantage point you are at now, it's a little bit higher where you're near the mine, and so when you look out, it kind of dips downwards. You see from a higher point inward, you see these points of interest theoretically. You can clearly see the manor of oh my god, what was his name? Noral, I think.
Yeah.
You can see that the schoolyard, just a little bit of it off to the side. You do see where all the towers basically were. There was these barricades that are placed up, and it looks like those have been refortified. You do see soldiers kind of on top of each of the towers, kind of effectively like little patrols up there, kind of keeping visual out there. And you do see several wagons that they're kind of just strewn down in front of the road here. Now the road, as you leave the mine, is way wider, and so there's actually space for people to be on the side. And as you come out, you see part of there's a blockade of individuals up in front that are kind of preventing traffic or inspecting traffic comes through. As you guys come through, one of them actually stops you. There's two dwarves that are wearing this dark iron armor, and they go, "Hold! What brings you to the Karat side?"
We're heading to Hammerhold.
Hammerhold? Are you carrying any infectious produce?
I don't think so.
We have nothing like that, no.
Are you sure? He crocks an eyebrow.
Pretty
Alright.
sure.
All I have is some really dried meat.
Alright. Well, you're free to go. Enjoy your stay in Karat.
How's
Thank you.
How's it going here? It was pretty much a mess last time we saw it.
Make a persuasion roll.
20, unnatural.
Okay, a natural 20. Oh, god dang, you guys get high on those. I should stop doing persuasion. Well, I mean, you're doing the persuasion. What am I saying?
Actually, I rolled a 12.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. How's it going? I mean, as you can see,
With all the
we're
shadows
quite busy.
and things.
What was that?
With all the shadows and things that were in here.
Oh, you mean the real... well, we've got fresh oil into the towers up there. It seems to drive them nuts, and we have a couple of soldiers and such ferrying out there, dispatching any remaining undead. Overall, I think we'll probably... Town's pretty safe as long as you stay down the main lit path. Should be no problem for you and any of the goods that you are bringing with you.
All right, good to know. Thanks for the update.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So you guys
Into
then,
the path.
as you make your way
Away.
through, you do hear this very loud, obnoxious pair of individuals. Well, one individual off to your left. It's currently the person in front of the wagon right now, and there's this one dark iron dwarf who's currently like, "Can you move your wagon to the side of the road, please? We are not letting you through. We have more important people. We have actual supplies that are headed to Midan." "No, good sir, you don't understand. We have great supplies. We have the
Oh my
best
God.
ale in the land.
Oh, geez.
Super Seder Ale is the best. You have to
I'm
believe
gonna
me."
keep moving along like I didn't hear
Yes, let's keep this going.
As you see
Hey,
that,
look, it's a call's favorite ale.
he didn't roll high enough to perceive you guys either, so he just keeps shouting to them. It's
Woo!
it's the Super City Ale. It will be so helpful for all the dwarves to get the alcohol they need, and it will make their lives better. And he just gets quieter and quieter as you guys manage to circumnavigate around Super Cider one more time. There seems to be a fair amount of entrepreneurs or individuals that are interested in establishing some kind of let's say, marketing into Midan. So you do see a fair amount of wagons of supplies. A couple people that are merchants alike that have been stalled or halted here at this junction of entering into the mine. And Super Satyr happens to be one of these entrepreneurs that's trying to make some coin.
Do
but
we
currently,
see Bellbrand at all as we make our way through?
Make a perception check.
Fucking no, natural one.
Natural one. Yeah, you don't see any dwarf, any ghost dwarf in the area. You guys do manage to get to the very heart of Stone's Rest, where Bellbrand was rooted, and he's not there. He's definitely not there. With that, you kind of actually pull out, like you dug through your belongings there, Evelyn, and you pull out the hair tie, the twin sapphire hair tie.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys continue past it. Church.
I'm gonna actually take a minute. I'm gonna leave that hair tie on the ground where we last saw Bellbrand.
So you're gonna place it on top of the ground.
Where was he?
So
Because he was just in the cemetery, right?
it was a little
Yeah.
not necessarily in the cemetery. It's close to the cemetery. So there's this church, and there's a cemetery. It's a little to the left of the church, and in between where the cemetery grounds are and the church, he kind of died against the church's wall. Is actually where he died, basically, and that's where he's kind of was anchored.
Okay.
So it would be within direct view of the church's entrance. Actually, if you just knew where to look. you would
Let
easily
me
see it.
then.
Is there something wrong, Evelyn?
I want to leave this for Bellbrand, but he's obviously gone.
His body should still be there.
Mm.
I remember partially digging it up.
Looking around, is there still there's a body still here?
Or at least the spot where it was.
So you're looking at where the body, the grave site of where the body was.
Yeah.
So I remember you dug a little bit of it and you found some bone, right?
Yeah,
There is
found
still
a bit
there's
of
still this
armor and
dent
all
in
that.
the ground there, but there doesn't appear to be bones there anymore.
They probably moved him.
What you do see, though, instead of here, is that there is a large amount of stone that has been moved over into this area near the church, and you do see a lot of dwarves kind of actually stonemasoning up the church at this moment here. So there does seem to be kind of like a rebuilding going on in Stone's Rest.
Cool.
And
How does the temple look? Is it like fixed up a bit?
it's better than what you guys left off, but it looks like they're kind of more in the
Right.
process of like right now shelling out the bad to replace it with good kind of thing.
Right.
They're taking out the
I'm
parts that
gonna-
are unsalvageable.
I'm gonna approach one of them
Okay, so there's
or the group of them, and say, "Excuse me. There was."
hold it. Lift it up with your back. Your back. No, I think it's your knees, you idiot. No, your back. That's how you carry things around. Oh, yeah. What can I help you with, miss?
There was a body over here, and I kind of point to where he was, and it looks like it may have been moved, and I'm just trying to find out where it might have been moved to.
I have no idea what you're talking about. A body? Are you
Well, it
right
was
in the
just
head?
Bones, but
No idea. Was anything else you needed to do here to squander my time?
I walk away.
What a crazy lady. All right, with your back. Lift with your back. You hear someone go, "Ah, my back!" as he stumbles off the side. So Evelyn rejoins the group, and you guys.
Where his bones were, I'm just gonna put it in the ground and cover it up.
Okay.
Just bury it, basically.
So then you kind of fill that little hole that was dug up and leave the pendant there. Okay. Let me just go ahead.
Continue. Off we go.
All right, you guys pick up your pace and you start moving southward. And so as you move more and more Stone's Rest, you see that there's actually a large amount of presence of citizens. I mean, or just standard civil folk. A lot of it's people like, I don't want to say engineers, but reconstruction. A lot of construction crews repairing the roads, fixing certain buildings. You can tell that some of the buildings actually now are being occupied by certain dwarves. It's anyone's game. Effectively, first come, first serve, effectively is what seems to be the situation. So there does seem to be a large amount of presence of, once again, entrepreneurs. They're trying to take a good claim of this area while they can before they get so governed that they won't have the opportunity to do such. And so you do see a lot of more of rough and gruff individuals. You don't see families. You just see like a lot of single and what you would assume to be single individuals. People that younger male dwarves. There's a couple females, but not a large amount of them. A lot of young males, kind of working out in this area. Not too much caring about their physical appearance. They look like slobs, but I mean, effectively think of it almost like the Wild West is what you would expect here. And you guys eventually make your way out of Stone's Rest. It is far more lively than what you guys saw before, because last time it was undeady. Get it?
Ha.
Okay, moving on.
Wait.
So, not a very good one there. At least Potato gave me a good. All right, anyway, so you guys eventually find yourself leaving Stone's Rest. Not much other interactions here. You see more and more people along the road. It seems that news has gotten out that Midan is open again, and people are trying to jump on that. And eventually, let's see, how many hours does it take to get to? Yeah, you won't be able to make it to Hammerhold today, so you would have to camp out at some point along the route to there, or you could push for it. You'd have about 4 hours to go before you get to Hammerhold by your approximation. You could push it if you'd like to, or you could camp out on the road again.
We could probably push and then
Push
camp
that
there.
4 hours. Yeah.
Let's push and camp.
Okay. So you guys decided to push it an extra. You get to that point where you're kind of close to it. The first hour, not too bad. You managed to all kind of pass the check for it. The second hour, you're starting to like have people doze off, kind of things. It's a lot harder to persevere past that point. Can I have Constitution saving throws from everybody?
Everybody's around Doma, right?
That's a good point, yeah.
One of you will not be. Everyone else will get it. I'll do that at random. So there's 4 of you technically, Aniel too.
What are we doing? Constitution saving throw or
Saving
check?
throw, yeah. All
I
right,
want-
so
Well, I would have been in the
Al's
back,
1,
so
Roderick's 2, DTW's 3, and I guess Aniel's 4. Aniel got screwed. All right, whatever.
What? You're telling me I wouldn't walk near
She
Aniel?
wasn't near you. I mean, she's not gonna be like pigeoned right next. Come on, that's a little awkward, man. God dang.
So what does it give us? Plus what?
+5 on your saving throw.
Mhm.
All right.
What saving throw was it?
con.
Never mind, natural 20.
Shut up.
Well
Tom.
then.
So +5.
+5. Yeah,
16.
the other 3 of you all get +5. Okay.
Roll correctly, dang it. There we go.
God, Aniel's stats. You have to look it up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, never know. That kind of makes sense. And
Yeah.
saving throws. Yeah, she doesn't have it. All right. So Aniel was dogging it. She is not looking the best. She did not meet the requirement. So you can definitely tell that she's like kind of like wobbling and almost falling asleep, and she just gets to that point where she does have exhaustion. Is the easy way to go. So she has level 1 exhaustion. You guys have about 2 more hours to go. You could keep pushing if you'd like. Would you like to go again?
You guys want to go again?
Emma, could you not
Summon vortex.
She can't get more exhaustion. She's already gotten the ill effect of it. It's a higher dice challenge. More of you could get exhaustion in the process. That's what it would be.
Only 2 hours, right?
2 more hours to go. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm up for pushing it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Constitution
Only 2
saving throws
hours.
again. Aniel can't get worse. She's already exhausted, so she's holding on. Okay, Diane DTW, bad.
Yeah.
DTW, exhaustion. The other 3 of you, you've passed.
Wait,
so
he wasn't near me, or did you just roll that low?
I rolled that low.
Oh my.
all right, so now your call's also appearing to be a little bit like haggard a bit. You guys
Man.
have 1 more hour to go. Would you like to gamble?
Be quiet,
again?
potato.
Keep
Yes.
going.
Oh, keep going. Be quiet,
Come on.
potato.
The monk got
I'll have that
exhausted.
long.
Well, so the thing is, the way exhaustion rolls work is that you can only, if you don't sleep at all, you only get 1 level of
Yeah.
exhaustion per day. So I can't keep punishing you for going 1 hour, right?
Right.
So.
I failed.
Oh, we need another one?
Yeah, if you're gonna push the last bit, half your party's tired right now.
So
Alright, yeah. Not
Al
bad.
passed, I think.
No, I had an 18. 19 didn't pass last time, so I'm assuming 18 won't pass this time.
What do you mean 19 didn't pass?
22 on this next one.
Okay, so
19
I have an
passed.
18, a 22, and a 25. Owl exhausted. Petite and Demi, you pass.
Woohoo!
So 3 of your party members are now exhausted, but you guys
One with
do,
the lowest constitution pass.
you guys do in the at one time was a -1. So you guys do eventually get to the gates. You see the giant, kind of almost curved circular wall of Hammerhold. Its gates are currently open, as you see a large amount of traffic of people moving in and out. There's not a lot of people walking down the road. It seems like there's kind of like stuff being built in front of Hammerhold right now. It looks like there's these little
Like a town or
extra
something?
dwellings are kind of being made, like tents and stuff like that. Potentially, they don't have enough housing to support everyone, and so it looks like they're like shanty town is effectively what you see being made here. There is probably an approximation of about 10 to 15 tents that have been made out in front of this place. There's a new there's a wooden barricade that's been built past that of a bunch of tank trap looking devices and stuff such as the like, in case an attack were to happen from the north side of the town, which is where you guys are coming from right now. They don't look like they're very strong garrison like structures, but they're there at the moment. There are some iron boots that are currently stationed in front of that. There is still a large amount of them along the wall as well. You guys have full clearance to enter into Hammerhold. No one stops you. As you make your way up to the front of it, one of the soldiers, he seems to recognize you. He kind of offers a salute to all of you as you kind of make your way through. Actually, I guess he would say, the captain, is she all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Just back in the town.
she's fine. She's helping get the council settled.
Do you have any missive or news from her?
We need to find the one
The
known as
Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, do you know who that is?
Dawnbreaker? I mean, I know who that is, yeah.
Do you know where
That's-
he is?
She didn't
Who she
send
told
you a
us to
missive
talk to.
back with us. With you. For us.
Unfortunately, we
There
had
wasn't
to leave a bit
time.
quickly.
What do you mean there isn't time?
Well, we're heading
There
back to the surface.
Okay,
Or they are.
Our missive is to talk to the Dawnbreaker. That's the last missive we got from her.
okay. Sure. Well, I don't know where he is at the exact moment, but I would just say head into town, check the garrison maybe. I mean, he's not necessarily in charge, but he's out here somewhere. I mean, I've seen him walking around, much taller than my con, you know.
Okay.
So he's not a dwarf.
If you
So what is he then?
Yeah,
you
right, he's not a
see
dwarf.
him-
He's
What is he?
what do you call it? They're big. They got. He gestures to his teeth. They got these things coming out of the mouth, and then they kind of pointed ears a little bit.
Orc?
Kind of reddish skinned a little bit.
like a
Reddish.
tiefling,
A
like
tiefling?
Doma.
No, not like that. I don't know what the hell that is. I'm sorry. No offense intended. No, you.
Toma literally just starts laughing.
It's kind of. Let's see. He's like looking over the.
Redskin.
He's looking at the group. Nope, not like you. He points to a call. Looks towards you, Evelyn. Not like. I guess if you combined you, and he points to Roderick and Doma, you guys kind of came together, but a little bit bigger in the muscle, and
An orc?
I don't know what the fuck it's called. Sure, why not? Anyways, he's tall, he's big. You'll see him. Kind of has short hair.
Are we gonna stay at the inn for a night?
Let's go to the one with
Hell
the
if
big...
I know.
No, I'm talking to my people.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to interject myself into your conversation that you're having with me. Right.
We're gonna be at the
Thank
the
you for all
inn
your help.
in town. If you see him,
Sure, if he happens to come around. I mean, he's not necessarily in charge, so I don't expect him to come around here, but I know he hangs out in this area quite a bit.
okay. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, if you see him, let him know that.
Oh yeah,
we're
absolutely.
looking for
That what do you guys call yourselves?
him.
Don't really have a name. Just the
Yeah.
tall ones. How about that?
The tall ones.
Group name, Tall Ones.
We have to change that. But for now, that works.
Just point. Just point.
There's quite a bit
Temporary
of tall ones in the area right now, and as you look
Right.
back there, you see there's about I don't know, a third of the population right now is tall folk now.
Oh,
You see a variety.
What are they? What are
you
they?
see a
Are they
variety of-
drow? Are they
From
a cat?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you a rundown. So
Oh boy.
as you look out into the area, let's see. About a third of the population seems to be now of a varying mix of individuals. There are taller folks. Can I have? Well, since you asked, Evelyn, you can do a perception check, and let's just give you advantage, Evelyn. Let's do advantage.
All these Karat region people.
14 with advantage? Oh gosh, not so good.
I rolled shitty.
So you see the following. You see things that aren't dwarves. So there is a couple of short individuals that are very similar to dwarves. They are thinner than dwarves, though. They have very
Like halflings.
kind of. They look about that. They could be a halfling potentially. You're not fully certain. They have more of like a grayish or almost blackish skin tone. Most of them seem to be bald. They have pointed ears. They kind of look like they have like fey heritage.
Oh, they're the dark dwarves, aren't they?
kind of
Like
hard.
what are they called?
I mean, Duragar.
Swerfniblin?
So they're not burly like dwarves. They're too thin, and you see these pointed ears. They give you kind of like they look like they have like a fey heritage potentially. It's kind
Like drow, but drow would be taller.
I don't know.
wouldn't they?
These ones are
Swerfniblin.
short. You see these. You see some of those. You see a couple creatures that are very reminiscent of Dragonborn, but they're not Dragonborn. You definitely, the way their jaw structure is, they don't look like they have a dragon lineage. It's more of like a lizard lineage. You see a couple of them in packs talking and conspiring with them. You do see a couple humanoid individuals that look like humans but aren't human. They have like this very like stony texture across their faces at points. It's some kind of like amalgamation of like an earth elemental and a human combined. There's a couple of those, maybe about 2 to 3. You do see one tabaxi currently helping someone at this moment. There is 2 satyrs, and you do see what appears to be a handful of people that are very reminiscent of your lineage, but they have different complexion of a grayer or grayish toned skin. So tall folked. So overall, there is a fair amount of larger people here right now. You see that. And then your perception roll is too low for the rest, unfortunately. Sorry. Even with that advantage.
Wow, that's quite the.
Kind of reminds you almost of Karat itself. These are kind of the races you saw in Karat, actually. A large hodgepodge of individuals, predominantly dwarf, but there was a fair amount of these other kind of things. It kind of feels like almost exactly like a replication of Karat, but here in Hammerhold. And Hammerhold looks heavily swollen, heavily congested. There's just a large amount of individuals. In fact, since we actually made it to Karat, I have to change music. Gosh damn it, I forgot about that. So let's fix that. So here you guys are in Hammerhold.
Oh snap!
So,
Ooh, I like it.
what do you all want to do? I mean, that's what you see. That's what you see out there. You see a large mountain. This guy's currently talking to you. Like, yeah, there's a lot of other tall folk here. So, your name,
Where did
what
these
name?
people come from?
From in the mountain?
From Karat.
He looks over at the cat man, who clearly is from this area, right? Do you want to explain it to them?
You know these races, Sakal?
Yes, these are the races that are in Karat. Did you not see all of them when we went over there?
I guess I had other things in my mind. We were kind of,
Yes.
Yeah, we had, yeah.
What is actually surprising is seeing that the backseat there is not many of us who leave. But
Is that alarming to you?
no, it's not. It's just interesting. But
You see with your
If we were heading
you
to
see
the
with your
end.
passive perception, Nicole, that person does have a tattoo of a tree.
Uh-huh.
On their back.
Oh.
But if we are heading to the inn, if I don't know what we would call ourselves, but just if you could point out that there would be people wanting to speak with them, yes?
That's very helpful. A bunch of crazy lunatics want to talk to you because they don't even want to. Well, give me a name, any of your name. I don't know.
I'm Evelyn. You can.
All right, find
I'm
Evelyn and
Evelyn
Co.
is
Got
looking
it.
to-
All right, Evelyn and Co. And a red-headed drow?
Tiefling.
No.
Elf.
What? What's a tiefling?
Elf.
I am.
Elf. No, he's the elf and you're the what? Seems very confused.
What?
Good.
Redheaded.
Interesting
Head Reddit.
conversation.
You know what?
I am
Redheaded.
Redhead.
You know what?
Evelyn
Redheaded.
and Co. Got it. All right. Have a good day. He gives you like a half wave. Seems like now he's just really lost interest. You get that vibe that he's probably not gonna.
Remember any of what we just said?
Not so much that he's just not
That's
gonna
cool.
waste his time with it.
Right.
You didn't give him a good enough hinge to really help. So, He'll be like, yeah, people were looking for you. I don't know who the fuck they were. Good luck. That's pretty much what he would say if he sees.
We told him
Dawnbreaker.
to send him to the inn, basically, is what I told him.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, that's
basically
what I
it
was
like,
saying.
we're going to the inn. Tell him.
Please send him this
if you
way.
see him,
All right, then
send him that
to
way.
the inn and seek for an Evelyn. All right, got
Right.
it. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, so then since I didn't catch that, then
Sorry.
it's not as an awkward of a departure. Yeah, he's like, all right, yeah, the inn. The inn. The fuck's the inn's name? Is there an inn here?
Yeah, there is. We stayed there. I forgot. It's like right outside the garrison. I remember you saying.
There's a
Gray
big
goose?
swan on it,
Gray
or
goose?
something on it.
Oh yeah,
Gray
Gray
Goose.
Yeah, Gray
Goose. Yeah,
Yeah.
2 floors. Yeah, that's right. It's the one that.
The one with the statue.
Yes, it is. I just had to read my
Damn
note
straight
over
it is.
All
We
right,
come
yeah,
here
yeah.
every time, and we get obscene amounts of meat for breakfast and dinner.
Yeah, it's super
The one-
greasy, not delicious. All right,
The
so
one
yeah,
where they
all
were
right, the
raising
Grey
the-
Goose. I got you. I'll send him over there if I see him. So enjoy your stay at Hammerhold.
Thank you.
Okay, so you guys are free to go anywhere in Hammerhold. You have entered into Hammerhold.
We go in.
Okay, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to sleep.
Where do you want to? Where do you want
Right.
to? Yeah. You
To
just
the
wanna
inn.
Go right
We
to
need
the
a
inn.
nap.
All right, so you go to the Grey Goose. As you go inside the Grey Goose, it's very lively inside. There's a large huckus and buckus of individuals currently eating right now. It seems that one one individual who normally has no one in his inn is currently stressed out, like he's sweating heavily. There's these giant pit stains in his armpits of a large amount of just liquid that's been accumulated over there. He can't keep up with the outtake. There's about half the room is full of dwarves. The other half is full of these other races that you kind of saw outside. There's a table full of lizardmen. There is one table that has 2 drow, and one of these small, shorter individuals are currently conspiring. There is no open table currently, and the guy is just too busy right now trying to keep his current patrons happy to even make eye contact with you at the moment. What do you all want to do?
Go to bed.
Yeah,
right.
I calls.
I am
Straight to that
exhausted.
guy.
So you just walk upstairs, break a door down,
No,
sleep in the-
no. I'll go and.
Push over the statue.
I
We're gonna
mean,
go.
this guy's got to recognize us again, so be like, hey.
So he's currently now making his way back towards the kitchen. He did not see you.
No, well, I'll make my
Oh.
way to him.
So you walk your way down through this very congested area. You accidentally bump into someone's chair and like, hey, watch it! As then you eventually make your way to the innkeeper. As you flag him down, he turns to you. Oh yeah, did you need something? Did you need more water? Your food's
Do you
coming
have
right
any-
up. Just give me a moment. He's currently still backing slowly towards the
Do you have any
kitchen.
rooms available?
Rooms? Nope. All rooms are taken. No vacancies. Grey Goose is booked.
That's what I figured. Alright, I'll go back to the group. No, there's nowhere to stay here, so.
Is there another inn here?
Mm.
We need to wait here because we told someone to meet us here.
I know.
Mm,
You know,
But one of us.
we have a surplus of money. It shouldn't be that hard to secure a room.
I have a questionable amount of money.
wow.
Well, I'm willing to use what funds I have to secure us all a room.
Well, if he's booked, I mean. What are you just
He's
gonna?
saying to
Are you just
offer
gonna
those-
offer more money and try to kick someone out?
Say, instead of 1 gold coin, I'll offer you 2.
That is what I have learned whenever I came into Karad, that money moves.
Well, we can try it.
All right, let's see it. Yeah.
I mean, you're more of a local than we are, so you may have better luck with that.
Good luck.
All right. Well, a call's gonna swoop his way over, wait for the guy to come back out of the kitchen.
Okay, as he comes back out, 3 or 4 minutes later, he's just got a huge platters of food in like both his hands. He's got like 4 dishes in each hand. He's barely holding on to them. He's like trying to weave his way down, and then you're like right in front of him. Oh, excuse me, I gotta get these to the. Ooh, ha 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 ha! It's like part of the grease rolls down his arm, and he's like trying to shake it off without dropping all 4 plates.
Yeah, I let him pass.
All right, so
Do
you let
his
him
thing.
pass, and he goes to the table. Hey, you all, meet And then here you are, meat. I ordered a set. No, that's meat. And then here's meat for you, and here's meat for you. Enjoy. And he then like rubs his arm as he starts making his way back.
As he's coming back, I say,
The rooms that you have, does anybody have a reservation, or are they all being slept in currently?
Every room is current. Well, I mean, oh, you mean like right now? I don't know. I give them the key and they get it for the day.
All right. Do you have anybody that, or is all your keys gone? I should say.
Yes, that's what no vacancy means.
All right, let's do this then. I shout out across the room. Hey, anyone willing to give up their room for 4 gold? We're looking for 3.
That room gets really quiet. All conversations stop for just a moment. Make a generic charisma check.
Generic.
Natural 20.
God damn.
Nice.
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 Let's see. Several people kind of ponder around. 1 room for 4 gold, you say, says the elves. No,
Yeah,
no, no,
we're
no,
looking
no, no.
for 3.
Yeah, we'll take it for 3 gold. 3 gold over here. 3 gold. Oh, not on my watch. I'll give you my room for 2. 2 gold, you can have my room. And then there's kind of like almost like a debacle. Suddenly these short individuals. No, we'll take it for 2. 2 over here, 2 over here. No, 2 over here, 2 over. There's this huge argument. And suddenly you selling.
I'll tell you what. Calm down the room a little bit. I'll take those 3 rooms and give you each 2 gold.
I think I was gonna escalate it, but since you did roll a natural 20, I guess I would you would stop. You would have their attention. Yes. All right. So, you want 3 rooms of the rooms he has?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He has more than 3, but yeah. So, a bunch of people come clamoring up to you quickly. One of them's a dwarf. One of them is one of these really short creatures. And then another one happens to be one of the lizardmen, and they're like trying to push their way. Like they're open their hand. Yeah. And there's a key in one hand. They're kind of show it for a brief moment. So you lose 6 gold to go ahead and get 3 keys, right?
3 keys.
A couple of the individuals do not get picked. They seem very mad about it. Oh god damn it! Says someone. Oh, it's 3 gold. But you do in the end manage to get 3 keys. You lose 6 gold. Okay.
Okay, minus 6 gold.
All right.
Since everybody's attention is focused towards Doma right now, is the barkeep, is he near me, or is he like running back to the kitchen already?
He's already back in the kitchen. He used that
Okay.
opportunity to keep up with the
Yeah.
upkeep. He's a little depressed.
Alright.
You can see like about a couple of the tables are currently still waiting for food to be given to them, and so they're just they have like
Gonna run out of
irritated
meat at
looks
this
on their
rate.
faces, like they've been waiting probably 30 minutes already for food.
Oh god.
Poor guy, he is not staffed to handle this many people.
Right.
Alright, so you guys
I'd head
have
back
secured
over
3 keys.
So who wants to stay in what room?
I'll give you 2 gold and I'll take a key for Roderick and I.
Okay.
Okay, so Evelyn and Roderick make their way up. You have no idea which door this is for, but after enough trial and error, you do eventually will find your place. However, I guess Evelyn, can you just roll a d6 for me?
Ooh. Gonna open the wrong room.
5.
Okay. You try the door. It's locked. You put your key in. It opens. You open the door. You enter inside. There's no one in there. You super let down. So one door used correctly.
I would hope that the key only works for 1 room. All right.
Pretty awkward.
Go in and lock the door.
Okay, you lock the door. Roderick's locked outside. Evelyn.
No. I let him in.
Thank you.
See you later, Rob.
Good luck.
All right, and so with that, you get yours, and then call Doma.
I give the call a key.
Call. You've been given a key.
Here you go, my friend.
All
Enjoy
right,
your
I
room.
appreciate it.
I'd hand him 2 gold to pay him back and be on my way.
Okay.
Reverse auction. All right, and so then with that, there's just Annie and you there, Doma, and she looks like she's just zoned out. Like she's super exhausted. She's just kind of following the group. It's like a
Alright,
call,
then,
like
yeah.
makes his way up. She kind of like snaps out of the moment and eyes you. Do we have a place to
room?
sleep?
Yeah. Let's go and try and find it, and I'll give Leon Hands a try before you fall asleep, or while you're falling asleep.
Okay,
Seem
sure.
exhausted.
All right. And so you guys make your way up to that room and then close. Try a door. So a call. Roll a d6.
Oh boy. 4.
4. A call as you make your way up the door. You're about 20 seconds ahead of Doma and Aniel. You try the handle on the door and it's unlocked. You turn it and it opens up just a little bit. You did not need to use your key.
Oh shit.
I'm
Try the key still.
gonna open the door.
Okay, you open the door all the way, or all the way, or just part way.
I mean, just so I can look inside. Hello.
All right, so you like look inside. You go hello as you stare in there. You hear snoring.
Oh wow.
That's not my room. I'm gonna shut the door back.
Yeah.
Lock the. Does my key work on this door? I'm gonna try to lock it and then open the door again.
You try to lock it, and the key does fit, and it does lock the door.
Oh god.
Oh man.
They all fit to every room.
I'm gonna go to another door.
Okay,
Just a random one,
sure.
and I'm gonna try the key in the door.
All right, yeah, roll a d6.
A terrible security system.
Yep.
All right. Oh, it's 4 again.
4. You wouldn't go back to the same door.
Yeah.
So you go to another one at random. Let's say door 5, even though you don't know it's Evelyn. And
Yeah.
so Evelyn and Roderick, you hear as the door jiggles a little bit. A call on from your perspective, the key. It's fitting into it, but you can't turn it.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go to another door.
All right.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, same thing. You figure out that eventually,
Oh,
after enough
boy.
trial and error, that this key works only on one door.
So just wake
So
him up.
someone's just sleeping in here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to my room and open the door.
All right, as you open the door.
I'm gonna walk inside.
Okay, as you walk inside, you see what a very, very obese dwarf who's definitely got apnea.
Wow.
Currently, his shirt is barely keeping the fat rolls pulled in.
Oh man.
And he looks very greasy. He has covers like half over one leg. The other leg is currently just like rolled off the side of the bed. There's like a half spilled tankard of ale on the side of the bed. It's kind of soaked in the sheets. He's just plastered out drunk, drool kind of slumming down half his face. Yeah, it looks like he was basically drinking and he was trying to make his way to the bed, and then he didn't quite make it, tumbled over, and then this is where he just fell asleep.
Right. I'm gonna try and wake him up, like just pat him on the shoulder.
You tap on the shoulder.
Anything happen?
He has to roll with disadvantage. So he had a natural 20 on the first one, and then he had a natural 17 on the second. So yes. What do you want? Get away from me! He gets up.
Step back.
As he gets up, he then slides off all the way on the bed because he was only halfway on. From Roderick and Evelyn, since this is the door adjacent to you, you hear a giant as the floor shakes in the wall.
Calm down. Calm down.
As that happens, you also hear from outside in the hallway.
Roger could
I'm not the statue.
Doma, as you come up, you see the perspective. You hear a thud, and you see the statue jiggle, and then fall and break against the ground.
Oh my god.
You also hear shouting from the inside. Get out of my room!
I just bought this room from the innkeeper.
No, you did not. I bought it from the innkeeper.
I show the key I have in my hand.
I had
I
a.
just-
He's like checking his person. Wait, where's my key? Damn it, Vegas!
Tell you what. Good morning. I'm gonna give you 2 gold. Let me get some sleep.
Sure.
Sound good?
He, like
Yeah.
slowly gets up. 2 gold, you say. He kind of runs his hands through his hair. As he does so, the hand just kind of gets stuck in his hair. Like since it's full
Yeah.
of knots. He's like,
Oh.
He pulls it out. It's like there's like part of the hair is kind of ripped off from as he was trying to slide his hand through it.
I'm gonna reach into my pouch, grab 2 gold coins. I'm gonna hand it to him.
Alright, so as you hand it to him, he's like super wobbly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's still super plastered. And so you put 2 coin in his hand. He kind of looks at it. Thank you. Let me just. And he grabs
Alright.
like his boots. There's like some trousers that look like he kind of like half got off. He doesn't even like pull them all the way up. He just walks outside with his briefs fully showing with one leg.
So what does Domus see? Is that what that?
Domus, you see the door
Just go
open up and
down.
you see this big man, half naked, come stumbling out, and you can see the silhouette of a call behind him. And the guy looks at you. I just got 2 gold. And he walks right past
I would
Medical.
I would nod and then shut the door and lock it and move the covers off the
you.
bed.
Yeah, you just take
And-
all the covers off, throw
Yeah.
it to a pile on the side. It
Yeah.
doesn't smell very great in here, but I mean, it'll do.
Just open a window.
Yeah. He keeps the window shut. He's gonna actually just pull out his sleeping bag and lay it on top of the bed.
Just
lay on that.
Doesn't want anything to do with that. No cooties. All right, and then Doma, as you try your key, every door is locked besides the one that eventually opens for you. Only one person could
Alright.
get screwed in this scenario, and you were not it for once. So you do eventually find your room, and you and Annie will head inside. She just sees the bed and just flops like face first right into it, like almost like a belly flop. Too tired to really even care.
Move her over a bit. Sit on the bed and try lay on hands.
Okay, and so try and land hands. Okay, you find that it's going to take an hour, but it will succeed. And after an hour, it succeeds. Over this period of time, you feel kind of like you're taking the right movement in the right direction, and that you're getting more and more attuned with it. You feel like there's better success each time you're getting more and more accustomed to this right you're doing here. And you know you're doing it really for her sake, but you actually do feel like you're progressing towards a favorable direction at the moment. To keep that in
Nice.
mind. All right, so is there anything else anyone else wants to do today?
I want to make sure my door and window are locked.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are.
Maybe like put the chair up underneath the door or something. Securing this bitch down is what I'm doing.
Sure. So, you do what you can, moving furniture around inside the place to secure yourselves, and eventually go to sleep. No watches were called for, so everyone's sleeping at the same time. And then, so 8 hours go by. No daggers are shoved into your stomachs this night, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah! Progress. And you're in the next day. It's a lot more quiet. It was a pretty rowdy night. It was kind of hard to go to sleep for some of you, but eventually you did all get to rest. Especially those 3 of you that had exhaustion. The other 2 of you, it was kind of difficult to go to sleep with how loud and rambunctious it was downstairs. At some point in the night, it sounded like a fight happened downstairs, which kind of woke the 2 of you up for a brief period of time, but then eventually died down, and you guys got your full 8 hours. All right,
Nice.
so
Yay.
half hit dice restore, full health, spell slots reset, magical items and features reset. You guys eventually stir yourselves awake, and will gather your things, gather yourselves, make your way downstairs where you can partake in a breakfast if you'd like, if your RAs want it, and can move from there. So what would you like to do?
Well, Cole would just sit downstairs and eat a ration, actually, not wanting to bother waiting even for the.
There's no one in the bar right now, basically.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty vacant. You're the first person to come downstairs.
Probably everyone's
You do
moving
see
on to Midan.
off into the corner, the current innkeeper is sleeping on a stool, like face first, right on top of one of his counters. He either fell asleep there or he woke up and came
poor
back
guy.
down. You see that some of the tables do look like they've been broken. You get this notion that someone probably was knocked in the air and then fell back first on a table and just broke it, and the legs didn't snap in front of it. He's definitely received some damage in his facility. A couple chairs are damaged and such, but overall it still works. So he probably made more coin than he lost for sure.
What's
he's currently
cooking based
sleeping right
off
now,
of again
though.
in your world, players?
What was that?
What's cooking based off of in your world again?
Depends on what you're trying to do, really. If you're trying to do something you're not familiar with, then it's different thing.
General
I'm not gonna
breakfast.
tell you up front. You do it or you don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Am I good at cooking up front, Alaris?
Am I good at this?
So you wake up. He's currently sleeping. So Call gets down there first. Evelyn and Roderick, I guess you guys would probably be next to get down there, and then Annie will would probably be last.
I'm gonna try and wake the barkeep.
Okay, so you try to wake up the area.
Morning.
Hello. Did you sleep well?
I did. We managed to secure some keys. What do you have for breakfast? I know that you normally serve meat and meat.
That's
Is
what
it
we
more
want.
meat for
Best
breakfast?
meat in town.
Right. It's all meat, right? Nothing else besides?
I mean,
We had fruit last.
yeah, you're a carnivore, right? Got the teeth. He's looking you up and down.
Well, we can eat things besides meat, but
You want
do
some
you
meat?
have any?
I got meat.
Do you have bread to go with meat?
No, I don't have any fresh bread. No bread.
No bread.
Just meat right now.
Just
Oh
meat.
my god.
Well,
Just meat.
that is a shame.
Do you want some meat?
I want some meat.
Yes.
All right, one meat platter for the miss. And you, sir? Points to
Make
Roderick.
it another.
All right, one for you. And then you, sir.
One more.
Do you got any fruit?
Fruit?
Oh my
Like almost as if it's like a foreign word to him.
Trade must not have boomed here just yet, you guys. So let's just have some
my
meat,
God.
and we'll.
But you know that there is fruit on the side that they do have. It's the crotch.
He
They're on the
doesn't
crotch
have
side,
any.
right? I just this
Yeah.
guy is just not familiar with what vegetables or fruit are basically.
Oh my.
Do we know the innkeeper's name?
No, you have never asked him.
Innkeeper dude.
Sir,
Innkeeper
sir,
number one.
what is your name? We've been in here a few times, but we never asked your name.
Have you been here a few times?
We have.
Oh,
It's been
jeez.
some time.
Huh. Name's Gagan.
Gagan?
Gagan.
Nice
Gagan
to meet you, Gagan.
Fellfather.
Pagan Fellfather.
Right.
That was
well,
quite the crowd last night.
Yeah,
is that happening
they wrecked
more
the
frequently?
place a bit, but made some good coin. Can repair that chair and table today, I guess.
this.
No.
The
Are
statue
people,
broke
are
again.
people
You know-
staying here on their way to Midan,
Do
or
you people want to make some good coin? Because I definitely need more staff now, since this is gonna be my life apparently every night.
No, but I'm sure that there are refugees in Karat who would love to work.
Mm-hmm.
Refugees in Karat.
Well, they can come back home now. I
Oh.
mean, they're from Stone's Rest and Hammerhold, aren't they not?
Yeah, maybe I could reach out to them. I need to get a poster or something, as I don't want to keep doing this. Is the third day in a row, and whew,
It's only
Are
going
the,
to get
are the
worse.
people just moving between here and Midan, or where are these crowds coming from?
oh, I mean, it's everywhere. There's people going this way and that way, and it's crisscrossing and uncrossing, and you know, it's I don't even have the time to gossip anymore.
Well, I guess you'd be the main hub between the bigger cities, I guess, right?
Well, that's for sure. Right, Hammerhold was well, it's not meant to be a town, but it's more meant to be
Outpost.
yeah, yep, that's for sure.
Well, now
Right.
it is. And you may want to be careful if somebody recognizes that this place is becoming important as a stopping point. You may have competition coming in with a new inn. Think about it like that.
I better get that staff and get this place spiffied up before then.
Well, yes.
Definitely.
I'm gonna go work on my poster. As he runs off, and you hear his footsteps. As he goes up the stairs.
looking
Don't
at the-
forget the meat.
Looking at the table and chairs, is there anything I could do with like mending to try to like fix it for him?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to try.
All
to
right,
get
I
it done.
will take some time while I'm waiting for my meat to do that?
So he disappears for 10 plus minutes.
He forgot about our meat, probably.
You cast mending. You do repair the table on the chair. It's functional. And you probably wait, very featherily to not test it, and it holds. They seem like it's old furniture in the first place.
Right. Okay.
But you repair it, and it's able to support at least your weight. Maybe not an obese dwarf, but we'll find out in the future. So with that, he never returns. It's like 20 minutes later, he's still upstairs.
The
Never.
statue fell. He's
Never.
probably fixing it.
Never came back. So you guys are kind of down there, hungry. The kitchen's all yours if you want to go at it.
I want to go at it.
Go at it.
Doma
Yeah.
makes his way
I'll
back.
help Doma.
So Evelyn goes back there to help. All right. So Doma, Evelyn eventually joins you as you just look in this kitchen of a whole bunch of grease-filled pots.
Does he have
and
eggs?
pans.
Does he have eggs?
There are no eggs.
Oh my god.
You do find there's this like little downward cellar that's colder in temperature, and in there is like pots and pots of meat that doesn't look like it's being kept the best best way to preserve your meat, but there's a large amount of meat down here. You see like there's a table where he probably just carves it into smaller pieces. It's not like he's been usually serves sausages. He's not very high grade quality stuff down here.
Are there like sausages?
There
Pre-made.
are a couple already made links that are down there.
Alright.
But so you can just grab your fill of mystery meat, go back up and start cooking if you want.
Cooking.
I'm gonna stick with sausages.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
all right.
Sure. So you grab a couple of sausages. There's not enough to feed your entire party, unfortunately. There's not enough for everyone to have sausages because he
Then
was
let's
like
just
partial
grab some
making
other
them.
meats then.
So
That looks
either way,
cool.
Doma, since Evelyn's helping you, you get advantage on this. Can you go ahead and make me do? Can you do a wisdom check?
Oh, of course.
Like Evelyn comes in, are you doing okay? You're like, yeah, I got it. It's what you basically say. And then she's kind of like, oh, I don't know if that's it. And you're like already kind of like throwing it into the pot and going at it. And she doesn't have the heart to tell you that you're just doing it wrong, right? So
Yeah,
I'm still checking my fucking thing, okay? I'm not rolling
Yeah.
low yet.
I guess that makes sense based off like survival, like wisdom.
Alright. I'll take the higher one of 11.
11, yeah, okay. You look for spices. There's nothing fancy here. He does have one bag of just salt. So you just kind of grab a handful of salt, throw it into the pot. It's kind of
God, it's a
the
chef.
pan's
This
already
hurts
kind of
me.
cooking with the like it's old fat inside, and you're like, let's just keep the fat in there. It's extra flavor. You throw a
Oh, God.
sausage link on top of it. Everyone's like cringing, like, no, Doma. And then she's like, oh, I'm trying to back a bit.
I'm gonna go back out into the other room and just eat a ration.
When I see
Dang.
Evelyn pull out a ration,
That's
I'm gonna pull out a ration and
Yeah,
eat
so
one
then
as
you
well.
start eating rations. So, 10 minutes later, Doma comes out with a couple plates full of mystery meat and sausages, and he kind of sees two of you eating out of rations. He sees Roderick, and he just slides 2 plates in front of Roderick, puts 2 plates, or 1 plate in front of himself and 1 plate in front of Aniel. Aniel
I got
takes in like a
hungry.
big gulp
really
as she starts slowly
back there.
eating it. There's Doma, make an insight check.
Too much
Okay.
salt.
So Roger, do you actually eat the meat?
He's gonna wait a second.
Okay, so Annie
Wait a
eats it
second,
immediately. Annie eats it immediately. Oh
14.
boy.
I
Yeah.
just wink at Roderick while I'm eating my ration.
Oh, he definitely furrows his brows. He furrows his brows so hard. He's like, oh.
Yeah, so
Oh, no.
you can go ahead and insight check there, Doma.
14.
As soon as like Aniel very hesitantly like takes a bite of it, there's like this face of repulsion, just kind of like her mouth kind of curls back. And she's like, and then there's like about like a cold 2 seconds later, she's yummy. And then she just,
Okay.
as she then like reluctantly, the hand shakingly goes back to start cutting another piece of the sausage. off.
Annie, you don't have to eat it.
No,
What?
it's great. She rolled like a 6, so very
Oh,
badly trying to hide it from you.
So Roger cough in his hand. Excuse me. Krista,
sure Roderick
you
wants
said
to
you
eat
wanted
it,
a
though.
ration, didn't you?
I'll eat fruit. I like fruit and nuts, but not so much whatever that is. As she clearly points at the spread.
Oh, Lord.
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
So
have some of
do you have
this.
some dried fruit or something?
Is that in a ration pack?
I mean, yeah, there could be dried fruit in there. Why not?
Sure.
Why
yeah.
not?
I don't.
Like
I'm
a
Yeah, give her
candy in
some
my
of that.
ration, please.
All right. So, Roderick, you consume a ration. Krista partakes in it. Anniel forces herself with good intentions,
Oh my.
eating your meat. She doesn't look very she looks like she's kind of holding her stomach a little bit after she's done. Doma, do you persevere as well through your food?
I do.
Yeah.
I eat it.
All right. So,
Constitution
Doma,
saving throw.
you can join Anniel in a Constitution saving throw.
Yup.
Oh, she got a +5 because she was
She's
near
close
me.
enough. Yeah, sure.
Shit, Constitution.
Oh, potato. Don't potato.
15.
No.
15.
15? Yeah, okay. Yeah. You don't feel like you're gonna throw up, but it's not very pleasant. There's like a gurgling and bubbling in your stomach kind of situation. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, it starts subsiding. Whoa. And you feel a little bit better, but no threat of throwing up. You do manage to hold it down. Your good old patron of the bar, I've already forgot his name. Gagan? What was that?
Gagan, yeah.
Gagan,
How
yeah,
did
Gagan.
you forget?
Gagan.
So-
Because I just made it up on the spot. I'm like, they're never going to ask this guy his name. So Gagan never returns. He's still upstairs.
He probably just fell asleep. We should make our way
That's-
into town and find the Dawnbreaker.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So you guys go into town looking for
wait.
another. As you get out into town, there's a large amount of hustle and bustle. There's this place is supposed to be a military outpost, and you just see a whole bunch of little shantytown merchant stalls and stuff like that. There's a bunch of iron boots that are walking around, they're trying to keep order and they're trying to be accommodating as possible. You get the immediate feeling like it's kind of like they're being forced to accommodate these people because they are the crossroads and everyone has to go through, and whether they want to or not, they're being forced by their superiors to be accommodating to every
Right.
side here. So a lot of them seem very they're kind of forceful smiles on their faces and oh yeah, I would love to help you find where that place is. It's right over there. Can't you see it? Kind of almost an aggressive exclamation near the end. But people are hubbubbing and making their way around. And so you can, whoever wants to helm the check can make the investigation roll to see if they can find the.
I'll do it.
All right.
Do I get advantage because everybody's helping?
I would definitely be helping.
Oh, no one said they were, but now someone said yes, sure, get advantage now.
I'm the one that said about it.
Oh.
I
we
didn't
need
hear
to go
anyone say it
looking.
until now, so I mean yes, now you may have advantage.
Totally needed it. 17.
17. So as you look around for a tall person that would stand out, muscular individual, there are quite a few. It's kind of hard to tell out what he was talking about. He wasn't necessarily specific, right? He's red-skinned. You see a lot of large lizardmen. They all seem to be very big in stature. So you're oh, it can't be them. None of them are really red-skinned. None of the people seem to really fit the bill, but after inquiring around about the children, you do eventually track down where this person would be. Over to the back of the Grey Goose, where you guys had your gambling stick. You see another little circle of individuals, and they're sitting there. Would happen to be a person sitting down on a box, as he's currently off by himself. There's no one nearby him. It seems like he was just looking for a place to be isolated all alone, and it just happened to be the place that's got the least amount of watch, which is why the gambling happens back here. And so you can clearly see the boxes that are currently not formed in a circle. They're kind of pushed back against the back of the inn. You know that they would be pulled out to form the little ring. You do see the little ditch is where oh god, Tim thought whatever the worm's name was, I don't remember. Tim was the victor, right? You do see the little ditch where they made a little arena for them. And then there happens to be this orc who's currently just arms folded, kind of red-skinned, pointed ears. Potato, would you like to give us a description of your character?
Alright, I'm muting myself for the first time. Well, you would see this, would you know it's not? Yeah, sure. It's an orc-looking individual. Appears to be sitting, but appears to be about 6'4", with a large, muscly build. He's got reddish-green skin, short hair, and very small tusks poking out of his mouth. He's got a very thin scar across his left cheek going up to the eye, and no other visual marks other than the bit pointier ears. He's wearing a well-used but not very well-kept armor. Appears to be have scratches and damages all over it, in particular in places where you would have any sort of insignia or some marking on it, completely like ruining whatever would be under that. And he has a shield and a warhammer with some sort of inscriptions in it.
Okay. And I have already changed my stream overlay to include him, and his token's on the board for those of you that would like to see the art that he has on the table. Potato, you're free to join the board when you want, though we're only going to be here for 30 more minutes. So, I mean, there he sits, currently arms folded as he makes eye contact with you all, and kind of crocks an eyebrow. And there your party kind of fills in as Roger more or less would ask him, are you the Dawnbreaker?
Depends on who's asking.
We were sent by Captain Miles.
As you'd hear the name of Captain Miles, he would stand up, look all of you up and down. Oh, so you're the ones. Well, when she mentioned a bunch of Outlanders, she failed to mention an angel and a devil with you. No offense, of course. What exactly is your business with me, though?
From what I was told, you are going to help us open the gate.
The Grey Gate.
Yes, you are.
I am. That's interesting. Miles said this.
Mm-hmm.
Is she okay? Where is she? Did she send something with you?
We had nothing sent with us. I was the one who
You
saw
have
her
one
last.
thing with us. Wasn't
Well.
sent with us though.
It comes with the package, you could say.
Right. Any reason in particular she didn't come back?
She had to
Safe
ensure the
harbor.
safety of some council members back on Midan.
Yes.
After all, assassins tried to kill us.
Assassins?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have?
Why would assassins be after you?
We don't
It's a
know.
long
Do you happen
story.
to-
Do you have somewhere more
Yeah.
private we can speak?
That would be
Or
lovely.
Looking
look
around like there's people all around us,
There
right?
are
No,
no
let's
people
look at
around
it.
you. It's a small little back cubby, but this is probably the darkest point in the entire Hammerhole. This is
Alright.
why the gambling happens back here. And you get the notion that he probably came back because he just wanted to be quiet. He just wanted the quiet.
Sorry. You know that anybody has a tattoo with a bat being strangled by a
Snake.
snake?
Make a
Can't really
make a history check.
Oh. Alright, as soon as this moves in.
Yeah, sure. His first roll, everybody.
Alright, let's
Woo!
see that
Nat
nat one,
nat
boys.
one, nat one.
One of us. One of
One
us.
of us. One of us.
Jesus.
Blood's chosen.
Oh shit, I have
Blood's
to
chosen.
that's a 16.
16.
Oh!
A
18,
bat
sorry.
a bat being strangled by a snake.
He doesn't belong.
You know, it doesn't sound incredibly reminiscent on your side. You kind of get a vague notion, like, well, maybe I've run into that, but I didn't think anything of it. So you don't have any ties to what it could be related to.
Can't really say I have.
We were attacked in the middle of the night, and she protected one of the council members, Lena, and she told us to get to here and talk to you, and you'd be able to help us open the Great Gate with the key.
Right. Well, that certainly wasn't a part of the plan, but all right. There are a few things I ought to do first. Hammerhold, she's not back with you. Few preparations must be made, although I assume you have the key with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We do.
May I see it?
Sure.
Aniel just looks at Roderick as a couple heads kind of tilt towards him. Just flat out, he's just showing that he has it.
Just dang, yeah, you guys got me killed already.
Calling you out.
All right, he pulls the key from his chest area.
Yeah, you kind of pull it out from underneath your torso shirt or whatever. I don't know if you're wearing a
leather.
I forget if you're wearing a
studded leather.
robe or if you're wearing a shirt and trousers too.
I don't know. Just go to shirt and trousers.
Shirt and trousers. All right. So he kind of pulls it up from underneath his shirt and
What a wizard.
he pulls
Not
it
a
out.
wizard.
What you see is as a chain, and on the chain there it dangles this like little white, almost like quartz crystal, that seems to be reminiscent of what maybe Captain Miles thought it would look like. So it could be it. Go ahead and make an Arcana check to see if you know more about it, there, buddy.
Alright.
Arcana!
Another roll.
He's not
That's
one
a
of
good
us.
one,
He is
too.
not.
He's not one of us. He's rolling too high. Out of the group.
18 again.
Moonbeam.
18.
Moonbeam.
That is definitely definitely should be the Chodoris. If it's not the Chodoris, it's something that's either meant to look like it or it is a device that's designed to be similar in structure. Since you never
Better not
seen
be
it
a fake.
yourself, you don't know what it exactly looks like, but it definitely has that notion of a kind of like one of these dwarven keys that are designed for either safes or secure regions. So definitely fits the bill of what the Chodoris could be. Which is very
Well, I'll be
kind of
damned.
reaffirming to their story they presented to you. Thank God you rolled high.
I'll be damned. Well, sure, I guess we can see what I can do with this. He'll stand up, sort of brush himself some more. Standing up to his full height, he'll reach out the hand to every one of you. Well, you know my name.
Roderick would be the closest right at the moment.
He'll extend his hand.
Well met, Roger Greycrow.
Thorak Dawnbreaker.
You guys should clasp hands together. You clasp
What was
the
the first
hand
name?
of a half orc in front of you.
Thorak.
Thor.
What was the first name? Thoric?
There you go. As I'll move on to the next person, every one of them individually.
Evelyn Zistria. Nice to meet you.
Just nod, shake your hand as well. Moving on.
Namazarte. Pleasure.
You'll crack a smile, tighten your hand a little too hard almost for a handshake. He nods.
He's back.
Moving on to the next
Yeah, so
person.
there's this power struggles. Domino
Yeah.
squeezes back a little bit. Both their mouths, kind of their jaws clench just a little bit before they eventually let go.
It's like a spark of electricity between the two.
I don't know what's going on here, guys, but cut that out, please.
And moving on with them.
I am Mikal of the Broken Peaks. It is a pleasure.
And he would shake your hand.
Nod. You would nod, shake your hand as well. And moving on to the last but not least.
My name is Aniel, and she just kind of gives you a curtsy, but does not move closer to you.
Alright. You would not shake her hand, I guess. You just nod at her as well. Well, I guess that's that. What do you say about meeting back here, or rather in the tavern, say 30 minutes to an hour? Or perhaps you would accompany me. It's not really anything important. Or
No problem going with. Why'd you guess?
We
Are
could
there any
restock on
stores in
supplies
town?
in that time.
There's plenty
Yeah.
of stores in this town.
Let's go
Let's
get
go
some
shopping.
supplies.
very well, we'll meet back here in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
How much gold should I think I have left?
You should have about 1,000.
Oh, supplies. God dang it.
I have
Oh,
under
people here.
1,000. I had around 800.
I thought you had about.
Don't worry,
3,000. I
Doma.
thought you had
Doma,
about
I'll go with you.
3,000,
Don't worry about it.
And then you spent.
Doma, we're gonna
2K.
go together. You're fine.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's gonna buy a magical item here and a garrison, right? Like.
I'll do it. Don't you tempt me.
All right, so you guys quickly break, and we're gonna try to make this quick here, so you can get moving because we kind of pinched on time. So you head off to your respective affairs. So what are you guys looking for? Thorak, you should be pretty well accustomed to do whatever it is you need to do. So
You know
A few
what
more
I mean.
rations.
so if you need to get if you want to buy something too, man, feel free to let me know. But so open up. What do you guys want to get?
Rations.
Rations.
Rashes.
Rations.
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 All right, so rations. All right, so how many rations do we need? So Aniel, just FYI, because she doesn't carry gold on her, she is down to 6 apparently.
We'd cover her if she needs it. Yeah.
Okay, so how many do we want to buy? What we can get a bulk discount just to get this done quick.
We can
Do
put
we
it in the
each
bag of
want-
holding,
How
so
many
we
we have?
can get as many as we want, really.
I just want
Do
to
you
know.
just want
100.
Woof.
But
like
Whoa, whoa!
Whoa!
never
Well,
to work
I
on
mean-
rations again.
I was thinking
think
like
about
2.
it though.
What's
no,
a
no,
rat?
think about it. So there's how many of us? 1, 2, 3, 6 of us.
Yeah, 6 now.
We probably should at least have 10, so it's like a little over a week,
You know,
right?
So 60.
Now wait, hold on.
survival is a
DM
thing.
question.
Huh.
Do I know how long it is to get from the Grey Gate to Wind Time?
Make a history
my
check.
I'll cook for you. $50.
15.
15. Oh, well, you know that there's probably a week travel. That's what you would guess.
Yeah,
So
it's
let's
at
just
least
get-
it's at least a week travel from the Grey Gate to Midan, so we need at least that much for each of us.
Let's just get 16.
15.
Like I
Whatever
said,
number. Let's just pick a number.
We'll just get 60.
I just need 2. I don't need
Six-
that much.
60 it is.
You don't
yo.
need that many?
All right,
No.
so can I
All right,
have?
no, how many do we need then?
I just say go. I just say go in bulk. We have a bag of holding. Throw it in there. We're done.
All right,
100.
Yeah.
We're good.
go for it.
Do
Don't
it.
worry, your bag won't just break and you lose all your food.
Of course, we keep some on our person, but I mean, it's just the bulk of it.
Yeah. So what are you getting?
So
100.
60 rations.
60 rations. All right.
Charisma check.
So they
there.
are 5 silver apiece. Who's buying?
I would like to buy.
All right, Doma.
You don't
Hey,
have any money right now.
Doma,
I get
can
it.
you go ahead and just make
It's
a?
not about the money.
Can you just make a D20 plus add your charisma to it? Charisma check.
Luck that.
Yeah, luck that. That's better.
Oof.
It's better than fucking before. What was it? Just the
Mm.
charisma?
Yep.
What?
Six.
12.
12.
12.
Yeah, you don't get a really great deal. In the end, you're getting as hard as you try. The people they're just too fickle. They're charging
stubborn.
They're charging the flat on price here. It's gonna be 30 gold.
All right, next on health potions. Did any?
Oh gosh, yeah. Other brewers and health potions here.
Yes.
Gosh, that's gonna be really hard to come by. But yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check, Roderick. See if you can find anyone that might have a potion that they're willing to trade for gold.
Fudge. 10.
10. You don't find anyone that happens to be selling it. Anyone that like what you kind of get is that anyone that would have one was given to them as part of their post. It's not like there's a merchant with a bunch of potions they're selling. So you don't feel like that you don't feel like those supplies either have come through or they're being closely quarantined at the moment for military reasons. Anything else?
Do anything else, guys? Anything?
A side project I call wants to look for a bag of caltrips.
Caltrops?
Yeah.
Where is that? I know that exists here. Ball bearings. Where the heck is it? Exists, right? It exists as one of the items. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's 1 gold for a bag of 20 of them.
All right, yeah, that works.
Okay, they're 2 pounds in weight. Just to let you know if your weight calculations.
We'll do.
Anything else? This includes Thoric.
I just got a flail.
Okay, and you just bought it for flat price?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds fine with me. Anything, Anthony?
Compass?
A compass. Oh,
Midan?
boy.
Anything
Yeah,
in
like
Midan?
you try to.
Not a bad request though.
Yeah, so you look to see if you find someone find a compass. You've already done an investigation check, and I just kind of want to use it to keep going throughout the entirety of it. I don't think you'll find anyone that would sell such an unusual item. It's not very valuable in the mountain.
Okay.
Really, especially with Agnir interfering with like almost anything and everything.
Agnir interferes with magnetics. Nice.
Almost anything and everything. Poisonous to ingest or get in the bloodstream. And magical properties. Ooh, spooky.
Ooh.
Guys want to buy some flask of corrupted water? You always need 5 pounds of corrupted water.
Oh, yeah.
All right, are we done then? We're good?
Yeah, we're
So,
good.
Okay.
How much is the middle pick?
So, 30 minutes to an hour later, you guys then regroup back there where there's Thoric. Once again, he seems to have gotten all his stuff, all his gear on him. He seems to be ready to go ahead and travel. And you guys all kind of regroup as that you look to him for what advice he needs to give you. Where are you guys going? What are you doing?
Well, I would, well, just... Well, I assume you're all ready to go.
Yes.
We are equipped for the
About right.
travel, yes.
Very well, then. Off to the Grey Gate we go. As we'll see him as well
not
with
wanna
a
speak to the
backpack
council
on
about
and a
this?
bunch of stuff with him prepared for travel, too.
Wait, before we go,
Before we go,
Hmm.
I have a
Yes.
quick question. Roderick, go first. I don't know what you're gonna ask, but
Oh, I don't know what you're gonna ask either, though.
You see these two, they start talking. I don't know what you're going to ask, but you can go ahead. He's like, oh, you go ahead.
Please.
Thoric, opening this gate. I mean, what will it do to this town? See, last time we were here, there wasn't this amount
Well-
of people, types of people.
Should we just
Are they
talk
just
to the
traveling to
head
Midan, or?
council?
Well, it sure is gonna change the whole mountain and how it is. Hopefully for the good. And I guess this town was built for the purpose of protecting the mountain. Well, there's a
True.
garrison. So it should use its purpose. As to what will happen when we open it, anyone's guess. It's been thousands of years since it's last been opened.
It
And
will definitely be congested.
where-
that's for sure.
Where exactly are you from?
I'm from deeper down into the mountain. Southeastern parts, more like.
Have you ever heard of a coaxel?
A what?
Oh, wow.
A coaxel.
Small
Make
craft?
make.
Have I?
Oh, boy.
Shit.
This
Yeah,
is
he
a
has both
nature
of
check.
us.
Make a nature check. Yeah, I was trying to think of what it would be.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Nature's a +3. That's a 10.
A 10? I don't know. Could be anything. There's a lot of varying species in the mountain.
I kind of look at Domo like, what the fuck?
Well, she just sort of
No one
just
knows what this is.
shrugged.
Random question.
You guys start.
Yeah.
It's like Evelyn in her mind. She might be like, "Is he addicted to it? What the fuck?"
Like, what's this? What does it do to him?
Why does no one know what these things are?
Well, I mean, that was all I was curious about. I guess I just.
All right. Mm.
Never heard of it, sorry.
Well.
All right. So, other than the coaxel thing, I was just gonna ask if we can grab some rams. That way, we don't have to do this by foot.
I don't know how the gate works. I guess.
I'm saying to get there, we're
So
still.
you know
Do
the
you know
Great
where you're
Gate
supposed
is
to go to
not
open it?
far away. Will take you less than an hour to get there by foot.
No rams needed,
No rams.
No. Yeah.
unless you want to ride a ram outside.
Well, I don't think they would take kindly to
not?
the sunlight.
so
Up
we could get
top.
a cart
Uh.
before tax up to it again if we wanted.
It's fine. Then if it's an hour away, let's just go.
Speaking of, I mean,
Um,
I call. If it's sunlight out, are you gonna be okay?
What is the sunlight?
Well, you remember
Well-
that? Remember Stone's dress? How bright it was in there? It's brighter than that.
I find that hard to believe.
You'll see shortly.
Heard tales of giant
DM,
flame
are there
orcs.
sunglasses in town?
Why would they have that?
I
No.
wouldn't think so. All right, well,
Let's go.
show us the way.
Yay.
So you guys.
This
are
away.
Alright, so Thoric then leads you guys south of Hammerhold. So you know Hammerhold's kind of got 4 main gates. It's a circulish compound, and basically south of the garrison is the south exit, of which the gate is currently open. There is not a large amount of traffic, but there's a little bit of traffic there, and it's only a couple of citizens or citizen-like people talking with guards. It seems like they're kind of wanted to be away from the huge hubbub. Everything going on down here is not like there's people trying to gain entry. It's just kind of like they're communing or talking with whoever happens to be stationed watching the side of town. As you walk by, Thorark, you gave a nod off to these individuals and they kind of nod back towards you, seemingly to have a knowingly exchange between the two of you. And you guys walk down this path, and as soon as you walk past it, you actually immediately can see, as you never really got a good vision of it now, but you can see this giant black wall far away from you. It's less than a mile away is what you would approximate. It's the edge of the mountain, and you see these orange pillars of these giant braziers down near the end down there, which is these little lights, which basically are indicating let you see the wall from your current distance. As Thork then points to you and tells you that happens to be the Great Gate there. It's only going to be maybe 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how fast you guys can walk.
Oh, wow. Did you tell someone in town what we were doing?
Perhaps there may have been some plans needed.
I
Why?
kind of figured she had some plan, so.
So, is there someone that's going to be there once the gate is open to take the key? That way we can kind of be on our way.
Preparations are in set. Miles was set off to open the gate. We were expecting her with us.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I assure you, Hammerhold will be ready. I hope.
Good. Okay.
Let's get this going.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's no one from my side or our side that. I mean, they're not expecting this to open, so.
Not at all. Let's go open it.
Speaking of your
Front-
side,
side this mountain.
just came across me. The gate's been locked for God knows how long. How did you people get in?
Back door.
Yep, that sounds
There
like
There's a back
very
door.
simply.
There
Technically.
was one, yes, built in.
We kind of broke the back door, but we got in.
Wow.
It was dwarven design. It wasn't. We didn't do
Yes.
it. The
Yes.
golem.
Looked like a
did.
contingency.
Yeah.
I was talking about the mountain, but that too.
Mm.
Where do you plan on going after the gate opens? Any plans, or are you just going out?
Home.
Windheim,
Windheim.
to start with. Yes.
go to Woodheim.
That is where they came from, or at least where Evelyn here came from what I gathered.
It's where I'm from. Yes.
Doma hasn't been to Windheim, right, Lars?
You probably have, or close proximity to it.
Or at least passed by it. Kinda
Yeah,
saw
I
it.
mean, it's kind of like to get from Veneer to Fort Hall, the route that you would take would be there's not a direct offshoot because you'd have to go through the mountain range. So you would typically, if you're going on the road, which is probably what you did, you would end up going to Windheim
Doma
and
avoids
heading-
big towns. Or at least
And as he's leading the way, he would just sort of turn around, start walking backwards, facing the group, sort of speaking to them face to face. So, I've got a proposition to make for you all. Seeing as I help you out, you help me out, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
what is this? Another recall?
I've been itching to get the hell out of this pit, or place, or whatever you want to call it, the mountain.
Can imagine.
Although I've got nowhere or nothing, I have no knowledge of what's out there. I help you open the gate. You help me out there.
What are you looking to do out there?
Just so you
Well-
know, Our little adventuring group tends to have terrible things happen to it pretty often.
You say that in character?
I do.
And that's not even to mention the one-sidedness of this deal. But yeah, what Doma said.
So just sort of like a fist and just hit his armor a little bit, shows like all the damages on it. It's like,
Ding.
I've seen my fair share of rough times. Though I've nothing in particular yet, I'd rather not just wander aimlessly. Hence why
let
I
me
asked
know what
where
you're
you were
getting into.
going.
I'm going home. So currently my town, Windheim, is sort of at war with an orc tribe.
The orc tribes, yes.
Orc tribe? There are orcs outside a mountain.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Not happy orcs though.
And
Yes,
everyone
his
I've
eyes widen a
seen
little
has
bit.
tried to kill me. So
Well, that seems interesting.
Looks at the
mainly
rest of you.
I'm going home to see what's the statuses
happening.
of what's happening out there. Basically, we've been here for way too long.
For years.
So-
Oh, God.
I don't really know what
Does
it's
he
gonna
look
be
like an
out
orc,
there.
Laris?
That he did.
Does he look like an orc? So, as you look over him, there's definitely orcish features. There's also non-orcish, like they're kind of muted.
Alright.
So you go,
So
he's
half.
got to be a half-breed, or a mix.
Yeah, because he's got pointed ears like me, right? Like a half elf, half orc.
Oh, orcs already have pointed ears.
What do they?
Hmm.
Alright.
Mhm.
He's
Well-
not.
What is
He's
that?
not a
Mhm.
full orc. You know that for certain.
Alright.
So what
Let's
is
get
it
this
you
thing
want to
open.
do on the surface?
Well, I have hundreds of things I'm looking for, but this orc comment really piqued my interest right now.
Okay.
Mm,
Not planning to join their
How
side,
so?
are you?
Shrug.
No, I'm just dancing.
Do you not have a family?
No, I don't really.
I see. Well, I mean, you're more than welcome to join us, I think. But we just met, so
Yeah.
mainly I want to know what are your intentions. Can I like insight check him to like see if he
Yeah.
seems like a decent guy
Yeah,
or
sure. So go ahead
does he
and do
seem
an
An
insight
shady?
check,
asshole there
and
is-
then, Potato, you can go ahead and do deception or persuasion, depending on how you feel your character's aiming this right now. If it's in line, do not tell us what you're doing. Just roll and then tell us your result.
Starting to fit into the group. I like this role.
wow.
10.
10. Okay.
17.
All right, so now she's inciting to you, so you gotta be telling her kind of just a generic of like, are you withholding information? Are you being earnest enough? Yeah, I mean,
He's more of-
everyone's gonna guard a little bit, and that should be expected. But are you like trying to totally sidestep the situation completely?
He would see like an overwhelming sort of excited in him. He's a bit curious, I guess. You can see him eyeing, in particular, even while talking to you, just taking looks and peeks straight at Doma, Aniel, and just sort of his focus is more on the two of
She's
them.
wearing a cloak,
but he's
by
still
the way. I guess I didn't necessarily specify that. She's got a cloak over the wings. She looks like a human right now.
okay.
Hunchback, you know.
Then it would be just Doma. He'd just
Yeah.
be
Who proudly
every now and
supports
then you
his
see just
devil
his eyes.
heritage.
Oh, I get
dart over at him.
I mean, what do you guys think? I guess kind of a group
He can
decision.
come with us, but if he tries anything stupid, it's going down.
I just would like him to know that ever since I joined this group, it seems that things are very interesting. Within the time that I've met these people, things that I did not expect to happen have happened. I just want you vaguely to keep that in mind.
Well, it's not like we're signing a blood pact or anything.
You can if you'd like.
Not yet. Not
just-
yet.
They've just told me that they have bad luck when it comes to things, and I'm starting to believe that that is very true.
Blood's chosen.
Yeah, you may die.
To be fair, the more people we have on our side, the better.
The better.
It is
Because
very true.
There's some very dangerous people on our path.
And if I'm honest, it sounds like we're kind of going the same way. So
Sure. You can come along.
Cracks a smile, turns back around, and continues leading the way.
At this point, you guys are pretty much made it to the. You're like 300 feet away from the giant braziers that are now illuminating the back of this just black wall. There's no natural light coming through. There's not like slits you can see through on the other side. It's just a giant wall. It looks like it's Earth. You're on the other side of Earth, but you can clearly see there's like architecture that was carved out of the stone. And off in the very middle, you see this one little point that's in between these giant braziers. This little small spot right in the wall that's got a little white glow to it, very reminiscent of that of the Chodoris, inside the hands of Roderick, or on Roderick's neck.
This is so exciting.
And Roderick,
We're gonna get
as Thoric gestures to this spot, this is where you would use the key. You guys kind of place yourself, you kind of like stop up in front of it. Now, as you get near it, you do see there's a couple guards here, which is not surprising to you at all, Thoric. Prior to your preparation, there is actually quite a few individuals that are now kind of stationed down here. As you guys get closer, you see in the shadows now, there's a large array of dwarves, just in case something is going to try to break its way through. By quick estimate, you think there's probably a full squad of maybe around 40 or so dwarves here with various equipment. They seem to be kind of battle-hardened individuals. Thoric, you recognize some of them, and they seem to kind of give a knowingly nod back to you, as that they kind of grab themselves up, they sit up, they kind of get their weapons ready and get their bulwark shields, and they kind of presume a kind of defensive position, but guys, giving you guys enough berth, because no one knows what's going to happen as soon as that gate opens. They don't know if it's
Who's excited to
an
see
earthquake
this thing
or
open?
who knows what happens, right? So they're kind of all like, there's a little bit of a nervous tension, but they form into the ranks of two lines of 10 people each, and they're flanking the side of you right now, preparing, if necessary, to protect you guys, is what it seems to be the notion.
Oh yay.
Open
All right.
sesame.
Roger will just take a step towards it. That entrance.
You take a step closer to it, so now everyone else is kind of a little berth off the side. Closest person to you would technically be Thoric, who's kind of like, half a step, a couple of paces behind you as he was gesturing for you to go towards it. And they're right behind you now, a good 8 to 10 feet behind you is the rest of your party, who are currently like preparing themselves. Aniel materializes her staff just in case there's combat ensues. The rest of you kind of getting ready to weave spells or throw weapons or do what it is you do in combat. Call flexing his knuckles, getting ready to punch and beat the shit out of it. Domo, you grab the hilt of your sword. Evelyn, you find your diamond for your trusty chromatic orbs. Roderick, you don't use anything like that, right? You just
Nope.
weave
just
your shit
start
around,
to-
right?
Yep, start taking the
You need to get this guy a
necklace off.
combat book.
Oh man,
You
combat look.
Thoric, there's this excitement of getting to see and be out there and find and uncover the truth that you're looking for and share with the rest of the world out there. A whole society or societies that you've never got to that might think in similar notion as yourself. And that just really makes you excited. Roderick, you take a step forward. You pull the key and you take it off of your head because it's impossible to bend down and twist it. It's meant for a dwarf, right? So it's a good 3 or 4 feet lower than you. So you kind of hunch down just a little bit. You grab the key, you look at it, and as you get closer, the key gets a little bit wider, and you start feeling it vibrate. There's a hum, and you see in front of you the crystal little joint socket. Looks like it fits perfectly with this, and it too provides a very similar hum back.
This is going to
excited.
change the epic.
jeez.
Epic of Midan. Let the world. I hope the world is ready for this. And he will
Yeah.
push it in.
All right, you put the key in.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And you start seeing these white lines from the little center spreading out, like almost like a glass piece of crystal being hit by a rock. It's just this cracking. Starts scaling up on the entirety of the wall. And when you think would be the wall gonna collapse down, right, you start backing away because you've seen objects like this get hit by Roderick, right? You think that there's gonna be some kind of calamity. So Roger, you take a couple steps back, and you're about the same distance as Thorak is. The rest of you all just see this thing kind of expand upward, and you get to see the fullity of how massive the Gray Gate actually is. It's not Great to Gate, the Gray Gate, how massive it is. The full picture here of it going past the orange light illuminating it, you see this crack, this appear on the entirety of this giant black surface in front of you, and it looks like it goes up probably in the ballpark of maybe 100 to 120 feet tall. Kind of very reminiscent of Seraph for some of you in height, and then it goes a good probably, I want to say 300 feet wide, just cracks out, and as it gets more and more spread out, you just take a deep breath, steel yourselves, as the wall does not shatter and fall to pieces. Instead, a little crack right down the middle starts getting wider and wider as light floods in right down the middle, which is where Roderick is. So Roderick, you get natural light blast right in your eyes, and you immediately have to shield yourself as it's just too bright for you to interact with. And within a couple seconds, the rest of you also have this light cascade over you as the shadow that's nearby you just gets banished to the sides. You each kind of put your hand in front of your faces, blocking this brilliant orangish-hued light cascading down through. All the dwarves kind of almost panic for a moment. There's like a stiffness in it, but it happens so quickly that they can't react. And you just kind of blinded. You hear this large grinding of stone moving against itself. And you feel like the ground shaking beneath you, and you hear pebbles and stuff falling from above. You guys kind of get into defensive positions as you're now blinded and you can't really see, and you're just trying to like protect your heads and things like that. After 20 seconds of very turbulent turbulation inside the ground and noise being produced all over the place, you guys then kind of feel the ground stop and the quake cease. And you again kind of unshield your eyes for a brief moment. Those of you that are not accustomed to light find it very difficult. It's just a blurred world. It's still too bright, and you kind of have to kind of like partially block a little bit of it, slowly getting acclimated to it. Over the next minute, our normal native surface dwellers do get accustomed and can start seeing again. The non-native surface dwellers, you guys will be uncomfortable in light for an unknown period of time, so it's going to be a very blurry world for you. But so Evelyn, Doma, Roderick, and Anio, you guys see before you, you feel this breeze flush in, ripples against your clothes, your hair kind of getting pushed off to the side. Boy, Roger, does it feel great to have air?
I breathe it deep. Oh, I breathe it in.
Fresh air brushing through your beard, man. It's nice and cool. It's very sweet, as if it rained recently. That crisp, clean air smell.
Yes.
You hear wind being poured through, howling as a bunch of air kind of normalizes from the outside into the mountain. You see a bunch of like leaves and debris kind of get cascaded in, and you kind of have to block yourself a little bit. Not certain how fast it's coming through, but it kind of whips past you. And at this moment, you recognize now the gate still is moving, but it's not making this huge earthquake anymore, and just slowly reeling into itself to the right and to the left, of which in front of you, you see a mountainside. And down this mountainside, there's a steep decline, a gradient downward, and you see pine trees reaching up towards the sky, and they are not in a beautiful brown and green of what you're expecting. Instead, they are much more darker in tones. You see a skyline in front of you. The skyline is that of orangish hues of an evening or a sunrise. You're not fully certain, as you're not sure where you are on the mountain. It looks like we're either going to be approaching to a soon-to-be day or a soon-to-be sunset.
Soon-to-be night.
So you do see partial twilight out there. You actually go, well, I guess we're kind of lucked out, because we'd be totally blind if it was legit sunlight at this moment. So that's part of the trade-off there. And after about a whole minute to back off you guys, everything's done and over with. The walls stop moving. It gets really quiet. All the dwarves kind of very begrudgingly like take steps forward, but you see like they're kind of still like squinting very difficultly, hard to see. They're kind of like hiding more behind their shields. They're trying to look out there, but they just can't really see any shapes.
Roger, step out.
Roderick, you
I
start
step out.
taking
Right
steps
behind
forward.
him.
I'm right with him. Yeah.
All right. Annie will
As
follow.
I-
you.
As I step up next to him, I grab his hand, hold his hand.
Okay.
Yes.
So Roderick,
Hold it
Annie,
tight.
Evelyn grabs your hand as you guys grasp, and you start walking outward. Doma, you follow in pursuit. Call, are you coming?
I call Wood. He's gonna be squinting, like trying to keep like a strong face, like oh god,
Yeah,
as he's
it's-
walking with these people.
outside.
Yeah, it's pretty bad at
Oh,
first.
Jesus.
So good.
You know,
Same
You
with
make your way
Thorax.
forward.
Got him.
Okay. Annie will cast Lesser Restoration on both Ikal and on what's your face? Thoric. She uses
What's your
Restoration to
face?
cure blindness. You guys can now see normally.
oh,
At this point, as you feel like this warmth come through you, suddenly your vision just gets clear, like incredibly clear. It's almost like if you're using like a magnifying glass and you're kind of like just trying to zoom in to get focus. It like auto corrects itself, and suddenly you can see the world around you, and picture perfect, basically, of a what would presumably be a sunrise or a sunset. Of course, you guys are alien to these topics completely. All you see is a very open expanse, something you've never seen before, a downward hill slope of infinite possibilities in front of you.
And different smells.
Different smells,
Fresh air.
trees.
Yeah.
You might never have seen actual trees. You start hearing
Yeah.
birds and chirping outside. As you make your way forward, though, Thorak, you kind of you see like Aniel. She kind of at this moment she kind of grabs your wrist and starts tugging you along. You realize that you're trying to be go to go forward, so you and Nicole follow in suit. And the dwarves behind, they turn toward. They kind of wave towards you, Thorak, as they kind of form into a defensive line. As you nod to them, as you know what their mission is going to be. As you follow the rest of this group down into the down off the mountain. And with that, we will be ending tonight's episode here. We are out of the Midan Mountain. Oh!
No, we're on top.
Everyone,
We're on top
congratulations!
of it,
You
though.
have all leveled to level 9. Congratulations, level
Oh.
9.
Well, okay.
We did it.
All right. So next Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will pick it up from there and see where we go. Rest of Arkelya. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right. So with that, all of us here, Don't Trust the Dungeon Master. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. We enjoy anyone that finds any enjoyment in our stuff, and it's kind of why we stream it. Even if you give us 5 minutes of your day, it's 5 minutes that we didn't have previously. So thank you. Can't believe we actually completed this arc. Wow, great. Cool. Psyched. All right. So we will hopefully see you all next week. Everyone have a great week. And remember, don't trust the Dungeon Master. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night.